Hello, hello? Okay, wait. Hello? Hello? This noise gate. Hello? Hello? Sorry, I'm testing it as I'm looking different directions. Um, yeah, I think I might have the wrong noise gate on. I don't know, whatever. Just let me know if it's bad. We'll figure it out as we go. Rook, can you talk? I want to check audio levels.
I'm talking with my voice.
Okay, we're about. I'm gonna turn me up a little bit. There we go. I think we're about good. I'm breaching into the yellow, and you were right at the yellow as well. Twice? Really? I'm not sure about that. I'll have to. I mean, is it unbearable? Like, is this fine, or should I spend a little while figuring this out? Oh, let me not cheat into Wii training. It's like an admin bypass. Get me out of here. Hey, don't give me that. I don't want that. See, guys, I didn't cheat right there. We're good. Oh, okay. Dude, my little fucking Angry Birds ass hair poking up above my headphones here.
That's Cowlick.
Yeah. Cowlick. Oh, yeah. Let me actually go try and do my next quest instead of just immediately starting challengers without even trying my quest. Because who knows? I definitely trained. I think.
Train more. Never trained enough.
Well, I need more healing items first off.
No.
Wait, you know one thing we haven't really considered about the global chest being broken? What if it's not broken and it's just actually working like the trash can? Because mind you, they're the same menu, technically. They're the same code internally. It's not that simple, of course, but like the easy way to explain it. That would be kind of funny.
The global trash can.
Might as well be at this point. I'm gonna try and get that patch out here pretty soon that will at least get rid of tab 2 for them, so they don't have to live in fear.
No fear, Cavalier.
Excuse me. Well, let me go ahead and link the podcast and announcements with a little, not add everyone, but just a little post so people see it.
Me and my lightsaber are getting stronger every day.
Nice.
My lightsaber fists. I am totally gonna redo the patrol armor soon, TM.
Please.
Because I wear it all the time.
Can you finish Cell Saga PQ? I forgot that, like, I keep forgetting that, like, one, I've talked about that publicly, and two, it's literally on the roadmap, so it's in fact not secret. Like, I thought it was a secret. I'm like, oh, they're going to be happy when they get that. But then I'm like, it's literally on the roadmap that was released before MP3 came out. So, yeah. Where were you at on that? I think you sent me them in, like, half of them. Obviously, don't say the armor sets. Let's let that be secret. But I think you had, like, half of them done, right?
Yeah.
And then also, are you going to update the characters themselves that wear the armor?
Yeah, that's
like after.
Pretty...
Well, depending on how we want to replace NPCs, we could start talking about that. I think we determined that, like, the complex replacing NPCs is probably not going to be anytime soon, right? Like, it's just going to be a mess with it when I get time. I don't think
I
we're
went
gonna
to go start a funny fight, and I forgot to equip healing items, so Cell almost turned me into sushi.
Nice. Man, you gotta do some off-camera training. I can't be in the booth. I'm fighting Majin Vegeta. This guy's, like, about to blow up. And act like he don't know nobody. Yeah, but definitely try to get... Oh, base form fighting Buu. Nice. Definitely try and get those armor sets done. Also, I forgot to message you one other thing. What I told you last night, the little hit clash. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the big circles that appear around people when they're fighting. Okay.
We have stuff that we can already use for that. Just make it bigger.
Technically, we could.
Because it is the same effect.
That's fair. I'd like to distinguish it. I'd like block, because you're talking about blocking, right?
Yeah, and like those are the same type of hit thing. It's just one you make really, really big and crazy, and the other you make tiny and kind of like muted.
That's fair. Well, ironically, DBC like already had what we're talking about too. Like that was their normal hit effects. The difference is we just have like 10 other variations of hit effects on top of that. What's up, Lean? That's a hilarious name. I need to get racial state for a third form. Oh, I'm actually not fighting Majin Vegeta. I'm fighting Buu. Is this guy going to be too strong for me? I kind of feel like the answer. Oh, well, maybe if I'm just running at him, not attacking him. You guys think I complained too much about gameplay last podcast? Like, actual season? Because, oh, the update's better and this is hard to play? You haven't seen anything. Now the combat's different. Now I have, like, an objective reason to, to complain. Had what for over 6 years? The name? It's a pretty good name. You should keep it forever. You gotta lock, you know, at some point you gotta lock the gamer tag in. There's no gamer tag rebranding. Once you're in your 20s, you're like, this is my gamer tag. This is me. It's not a gamer tag anymore, it's a lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
Unless you're Precise Rook here. Otherwise known as, I don't remember his other aliases. Can you imagine if you could... Yo, remember when I started recoding the warp system? Because I'm like, man, tab complete would be nice. And I'm like, let me make a menu for this. Technically, that actually came after the titles menu. So, 23k? I'm level 17k. If I could beat this guy, I'm going to be goated. Honestly, dude, it's a double layered funny at that point. Even if you made it because haha lean, the drink typically drank in by the rappers, it's still kind of funny. Either whether it's that or lean just kind of sounds funny, to be honest. Dude, knockback is annoying as shit. You know, after having messed around with the combat update, like because I'm like trying not to make the enemies get flung away from you when you're in the middle of fighting, right? But like this Vegeta is actually being thrown like 5+ blocks every punch. So maybe I don't need to worry about knockback as much, because you definitely don't want them standing in place and getting beat up. But also, like, I'm not stronger than... Yeah, no, of course. I actually went through and specifically coded that the other day. I made it, well, I changed how blocking was handling because it was a little messy. So I just made it so if blocking, they'll just all be reduced by like 50%. There's specific values for each hit type, but more or less 50%.
I think a little bit of knockback and a little bit of follow through so you keep pace is pretty good.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then you also have to remember the enemy's going to be running at you. Like, logically, the enemy is moving towards you in the middle of the fight. They're not standing still. When I'm in GMC and they're not aggroing me, I'll tell you it's annoying because they're not moving at me. They're just getting knocked away. Or even worse, if they're not returning to their home position, which I turn on sometimes. So they just, like, actually, like, get knocked away and don't move. You know, which is not how a fight would be. Make it knockback on the last hit. Well, there's going to be knockback for every hit, but the last hit is called a... The next video is going to be talking entirely about heavy attacks and everything about this, but I'll tell you the last hit of your, like, 5-hit combo is called a finisher. So you can have a light finisher or a heavy finisher. Obviously, both of them are going to knock you away because that's, like, you know, how you end a combo usually in these kind of games. But the heavy one will knock you away a lot. The light one will just knock you away a little bit. So... Damn, I'm very red with Kaioken. When you're playing like an alien race that doesn't have a natural skin tone, the red really like you just become red.
I am tomato. Wait, icebox.
Man, for heavy attacks, there's gonna be you're gonna have a heavy attack. You're gonna have a you have a heavy attack. You're gonna have an uppercut, which is you have 4. Well, actually, we were just talking about this the other night. It's going to be tweaked a little, but right now, you have a heavy attack, you have a heavy finisher, which is just a heavy at the end of a combo, and then you have a heavy uppercut and a heavy down slam. So there's technically 3 kinds of heavies. Hey, 1 second. Buddy, come here. No, you're not allowed back there. Please go. Oh. Sorry about that. My cat was, doing cat things. It's actually the easiest way to explain it. I don't know if you can see him. No, you can't see him. He's out of frame.
Your cat's a funny, silly meow meow guy.
Kaioken's health drain is like very subtle. It's like I'm just jumping into it to get passive XP in between me doing things. Despite spawn not letting you like spawn heal and all that with Kaioken, you can still pretty well do that by just going to spawn, getting the heal, and then having full health for Kaio. Yeah, no, that's exactly what the heavy finisher is. Yep. Oh, we should probably...
Okay, I can't do 3 of him in 1 life yet. Got it.
Yeah, I should get my... Oh yeah, I'm already 1 flicker into 3rd form. Okay. Need to definitely level 3rd form another time. That would be good. Wait, quite a way away from that one though, unfortunately. I gotta say, man, I feel like I don't get enough crate keys existing as a normal person. Like, I'm obviously not claiming any donor ranks, but like I feel like I'm just not getting crate keys. But the problem with crate keys, man, is they're really hard to balance, I would say, because how do you balance that, right? Like you start giving too many free crate keys from, like, let's say crazy idea, you could trade vouchers for crate keys, right? The vouchers right now are pretty much a cosmetic only system, So what would then happen to your... That is annoying. Sorry, brain. What would happen to your, like... Sorry. Let me finish doing this, then I'll talk.
Not Brian.
So, like, what would then happen to your vouchers is all of a sudden, like, crate keys themselves would start, like, going down in value quite a lot, which, is that a good thing or not is totally subjective to you, but as the server, bluntly, it's not a good thing. We'd prefer vouchers, not vouchers, but crate keys to keep the value, and definitely not what would happen if we, God, this is annoying. Sorry, I'm putting items in my global chest, and they don't stack because it's not running the, like, item cleanup code, so they're not the same, like, they can't stack. I need to make a note of that because I didn't realize how bothersome it was, to the point that putting every item in causes, like, me to have to take it out so they stack. I know achievements definitely give you crate keys for sure. Like, you get crate keys for free. They're not pay to win only, or like pay only. They're also not pay to win. Sorry, crate keys are just synonymous with pay to win. Ours are definitely not. We strive for them not to be, but like every other server you play, crate keys definitely a rough one. Global.
Play a Pixelmon server, roll for legendaries.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking in my mind.
Catch them on your own. No, they're a 3-hour spawn, and only one of them happens, and the rich people get to go over there really fast.
Yeah, the whole item stacking issue was an issue ages ago. We fixed it. We fixed it by having your inventory run like cleanup code to make sure it's good at all times. The issue with it is it doesn't run in the global chest. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll quickly put it in there at some point. Yeah, I would say crate keys definitely aren't overpowered. Like, they're, we strive for everything in the game really to be pretty balanced, because we don't want to be pay to win or anything of the sort, but crate keys inherently kind of have a level of that, right? Because, like, you buy something, you roll in-game rewards. It's inherently...
It's more pay to fast, since it's basically like a PvE experience.
I can accept that.
It's like when I went to Final Fantasy 14 and skipped A Realm Reborn, because I wasn't about to do that. I wanted to play with my friends later on.
Yeah, and you would have had, like, actually 100 hours of gameplay before you ever got to us. So that was probably a great idea. We would have had to carry you through all the boring ass dungeons that like need to be remade. And I mean, there's a reason fucking that one super long cutscene damn near gets changed every. And Rye, please correct me if I'm wrong, but like the elevator, that whole the Realm Reborn one, and it's like that one gets changed like all the time because it's just bad. Well,
I think the fat got trimmed again for ARR.
That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, they just keep slimming it, which is great. But like the fact that it's like 4 trims at this point, it's like, guys,
there's still so many fetch quests that can really go without.
What they should do, and I love Final Fantasy 14, but what they should do is spend like a long time, devote a lot of time to go through and be like, okay, condense this. Don't do it like, don't put 3 dudes on it every update. Just like actually put a lot of time in. And I'm not insulting them. It's just like, sit down and like let it be a big thing, get it out of the way, and never have to do this again. But then again, I don't know, maybe the gradual change is good for old players. But you know what it's not good for? Brand new players who still log in and still see that to this day. So.
Yeah, I'm brand new every day. I play not League of Legends. Final Fantasy.
I mean, I might as well be brand new with how long it's been. I would love to go back to it. Like, genuinely, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I want to play an MMO. But then I'm like, not that I don't have the time, just that, like, whenever I feel like I want to play games, I just want to play, like, a more simple game. And I don't want to, like, go read dialogue is usually my problem, right?
You heard it here, Yoshi P. Give more voice cutscenes.
Honestly, it'd be a great way to use their money because, you know, I'm sure they make plenty of it.
I think it gets more and more voiced.
I mean, the same way like the quality generally goes up, right?
There's quite a bit of yapping in Endwalker.
Man, I struggle to be like, yeah, let me farm this Gohan because his drops are literally the same. Like he gives more Zenny and TP, but like if I'm farming. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I think I already said this to Kat, but okay, actually, how do you feel about shard drops so far, Rook? I gotta ask.
Well, to be honest, since it's just universal shards now, I'm like, well, I kind of wish I could just use these for XP instead of going over to the thing. Like,
first off, yes, honestly, yeah. Why don't we just let shards? I mean, what, you need 2 shards? Is it 2?
2 shards.
Yeah, it's 2. Just have. Yeah, okay, well, I'll make that change. Yeah, I don't even think I need to talk to Kat about that because it's literally like 5. Just, it's right there. Anyway,
it's just not
I'll write that
teleporting
down.
All the way over.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you, actually.
No.
Like
no. Which I can eat.
What needs to happen? Why don't we just remove Form Souls? Actually, tell me why we have Super Saiyan and Arco tier 1. Why does every race have one? Is what I'm asking. Just because?
Because we like item bloat.
Yeah, literally. Because you know how long we've been like, let's give these nice textures, and we're just like struggling. It's like all we do is just stop. Like they'll still work. Everyone's will still work. You know, you can still use them, but we just stop perpetuating them. You can no longer trade for them, which will provide a funny for anyone who keeps them. They could just keep it for collection. That would be cool, I imagine. I don't know. Maybe we keep them for the sake of it. You know, it's not like it's that hard to maintain. But I think it would be amazing if Universal Souls could be used. Then you'd have the argument of why do you even let them be traded to specific? Because like they actually don't have a use, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Let me make this note because I definitely like the idea of It's funny because I totally forgot that you cannot just claim a Universal Soul for XP.
Yeah, the thing is like soul fragment. Like souls are 10, right?
Yes. So it's literally just 5.
Yeah, and
well, the problem is more just like,
like
it's absolutely not hard for me to just code, depending on your race, give you XP. That's totally easy. Then you have to ask yourself the question, why are we keeping race-specific souls at all?
Because more work to remove them, we can just ignore it.
Well, if we wanted to be assholes, we could just retroactively scan everyone's inventory and just convert to normal universal, but I feel like people would be mad because people would probably like to keep them for collection's sake, you know?
Yeah.
That's one of those changes where, like, I think I think quality of life, you just let them eat the universal soul, but then you also keep the specific soul just for, like, fun. I don't know. I struggle with that, right? Because it's just bloat. And it's like, you just end up having these things in your inventory for no reason. That's definitely something I could use some community feedback on or talk to some testers about because, you know, that's kind of just unnecessary, really. I mean, the item bloat part.
Also, the soul fragments look like Kaioken fragments, and you can eat Kaioken fragments, but you can't eat the soul fragments, and it makes me mad.
It's a good point. You know what's funny? The tier 1, 2, 3 fragments we're talking about are custom form fragments from back in the day. Because, you know, we were like, oh, we don't even, why even make new textures? These are never going to be used again. And, like, they vaguely fit the themes. And by vaguely, I mean very vaguely. I'm sure you've noticed that, like, they don't really fit the theme. Anyway, I wasn't asking about that. What I was asking about was how do you feel about the drop rates? Because I feel like they're ass.
Oh.
And that's not like a cat thing. It's really just like we didn't test them right, and we didn't figure out that, like, they feel underwhelming. Because it really feels like I'll farm this fucking Gohan. Like, I've killed him 4 times. I got 1 soul fragment. I don't feel like that. Like, I understand how numbers work. I'm not an idiot. But, like, the fact that he has 2 10% drops and 1 15% drop, those are low drop rates. We can all agree, right? Like, that's uncommon to happen, period. So, even if there's 3 of them, it's uncommon to happen. The idea that, yeah, I could get 3 drops is cute, but that's a 1 in 10.
You'd still think that you would be able to get, like, 1 every 4 at least.
Yeah, I think that's the part where I'm like, damn, maybe there is an issue with CNPC drops.
Yeah, maybe it's not true random.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the code, and it's pretty much just, it's the exact same random I use for things. So, I really don't know. Wish I had a better answer.
Could also just do, or, I was gonna say do, like, a weighted thing, where if you get absolutely nothing for a while, it kind of, like,
yeah, you love
soft.
your fucking pities. Play too many gacha games, buddy. I think pities are great, but they're great when it's like there's actual money involved. Where like, oh, I summoned 10 times.
Well, I wasn't saying guaranteed this time.
What were you saying? Sorry for cutting you off.
I was saying put like a lightweight up to an extent, so it's like instead of 10%, 10%, 15% at the end. If you've gone like 50 times, it's like, I don't know, maybe 15, 20. But if you get 1, it resets back down.
I honestly feel like a solution to this. Cat doesn't even have to lift a finger. Well, she would have to say yes or no, plus like 5% on like every Z Soul drop, like just retroactively in code. Because that's one of those things where like I just don't think Rai or Fanta should be tasked with doing grunt work just for that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we agree that like we can accomplish this with just a +5, or that's the part that Cat would need to do.
3%.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be flat. Like, we don't need to have it be 10, 15. That's arbitrary.
I like funny numbers. Do 13%.
I mean, yeah, sure. I genuinely don't care, honestly, if the rates feel better. I just think that like I'm gonna check the sheet. And this is nothing about Cat's work at all. I always look at this more of like we failed to test the numbers, because Cat can only theoretically do so much on her sheet, right? Like. And I also don't expect Cat to get in game and test these things herself. That's why we have testers. And frankly, like I've got 1 soul fragment drop from him, and Buddy has 2 10s and a 15, or 2 15s and a 10. One of the two. That's way like the point of those triple drops was it was gonna feel cool when you could get anywhere from 1 to 3. But the problem is you're rolling 3 10% drops. I am going to go look at the drop code just to make sure, because I've played plenty of video games. 10% drops are usually more common than this, which is a silly sentence, I'm aware, but like I think anyone who's played any game with low drop rates knows what I mean. It also doesn't help that most games with low drop rates, say you know, we're playing Hypixel Skyblock. That game literally has an entire like a whole mechanic system built into like boosting drop rates, so it's less of an issue. Like your 1% drop rate is 1% until it's like you can double it at some point.
Yay, double.
Yeah, let me go ahead and open the sheet so I'm not talking in my butt. Let's go see what the drop rates get up to. I don't think they even hit 30 though. pretty.
I will say the other thing though that makes those feel better is when I'm hitting those like 1-2% things, I can go through and just pop, 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 and just kill a fuck ton of them.
Oh yeah, like you're one-shotting them. You're getting like even if it's a 0.1%, you can like kill 10 of them in a minute. Like it's absolutely nothing, if not faster. Meanwhile here, like I was thinking about that in my head. It's like it takes a while to kill a challenger. The drop rates get up to 25%, and we're talking about like. Let me give an example. I mean, there's also a big issue where, like, I don't feel like the drops are varied enough. Like, this very Gohan I'm farming. Yeah, this guy, like, so, level 12k, he drops 15, 10, 5 for tier 2, okay? For his next, the one I'm farming now, he's 15, 15, 10. So that's better, yeah. And then he's dropping 25, 20, 15. That's actually really good. He's only level 16k there. That's actually a good farm. That's Saiyaman, though, so I gotta... Actually, I already have him. Let me do him. Pause. Actually, I was gonna say the range of, like, drop change is quite small, but no, that actually feels fine. I was wrong. So the range that, like, their drops increase, like... I'll probably be getting some pretty cool drops on Saiyaman, but the fact that I'm, like, farming a early Buu Saga challenger for my drops feels a little awkward to me. If that makes sense to anyone. Like, I'm trying to, like, farm tier 2, which I unlocked, like, 15 quests ago, and I don't even have it level 3 yet, and I can't reasonably... Like, I guess my problem is, I would almost say we should tone down the Dragon Ball trades. I know that's gonna, like, piss some people off, but we tone down the Dragon Ball trades for Z-Souls. Give them something else to kind of compensate, you know, give them another useful trade, hopefully, which we struggle with because there's not much to give, but try to do that. And then from there, we can talk about boosting the drop chances for real Z-Souls so you can actually get more normally. Because what I'm finding is I feel like I'm getting plenty of... I get so many Z-Souls. Like, I swear, 70% of my Z-Souls, number I'm pulling out of my butt, just feels right. 70% of my Z-Souls have definitely come from Dragon Balls. And mind you, I'm not using kits. I'm using just picking up Dragon Balls. So I'm doing the free-to-play experience, okay? So with that in mind, I think we should boost normal Z-Soul rates. And maybe reduce the Dragon Ball trades. Because I don't want to, like, break the balance, right? Because, like, I feel like if both of those were good, I would just be, like, level 5, no issue, right? But right now, I just feel like I'm, like, struggling to get my Z-Souls. This guy's a little too strong.
Oh no, it's Krillin Unbound.
Oh!
He's dead. He's unbound by life now.
Did I dye my hair, like, in real life? I hope you're asking that, because I don't have fucking horns in the game, but no, I did not. At some point I did, but definitely, like, that was, like, 7th grade. So, definitely not.
Okay, but did you dye your horns?
You can, but no, I didn't.
I think you should. You have terrible horns. You look ugly.
Crying, bro. Why would you say that to me? It would actually be kind of cool if there was a... Guys, what if we just get rid of the punching machine and make it an actual mechanic where you actually just spar with the dude? And Hercule Satan, okay. The staff member, not an NPC. And he has a lot of health. Basically, he's a sponge. It's DPS check. You see how much damage you can do in that time period.
What about one of those mobile game things where it has a health bar, right? And then you drop it, and it heals up, and it gets, like, the next tier of damage. Well, it doesn't, like, actually heal. It's like you take out one health bar, and there's another one below it, and they're, like, progressively bigger, and as they're on that next health bar, their stats go up for the other kinds.
It's kind of like a... You know, I've had an idea for a long time for, I've had an idea for a long time. Yes, there is fusion. Metamor and fusion specifically.
Do the fusion dance.
I've had an idea for a long time to make some kind of like tower system. I would like it to be like muscle tower just to reuse that, but where like you move up the levels of the tower and you fight progressively stronger enemies, and like they're all preset, you know, like level 3 is the same for everyone, but you progress through the tower. People could share methods for how they beat floor 7 with their boys, you know, just stuff like that. And there's 100 floors, so like beating floor 100, whoever does it first, it'd be like an accomplishment, you know what I mean? You know, like there'll be like time rankings, stuff like that. Maybe how much you healed. Could be fun. I think little fun little things like that would be very engaging.
No fun allowed.
Yeah, that's true. I'm so excited for the combat update, dude. What's really going to be a test is doing challengers in the combat update, because challengers aren't going anywhere, but we need to make sure they're not terrible, because you know, if I'm fighting a challenger with this new complicated system, and I don't need to explain, it can get pretty annoying to fight 5 challengers back to back. I think ultimately we're gonna probably aim to make the fights faster, right? Like, I think if you can like on level fight an enemy in like 30 seconds to a minute right now, let's try to get that even quicker. Which sounds crazy, but you have to consider the kind of fighting you're doing in that. Let's say 45 seconds is the new target instead of a minute. You gotta consider what you're doing. You're comboing them, you're launching attacks, you're doing all these things versus just left clicking them. I don't know, because it's a lot easier to just detach right now and just left click and look away, right? But if I actually had to do something, I couldn't do that, because on level means he would probably hurt me. This guy's now not my level. This guy's not even hurting me. You know, Dex moment. Classic.
Everyone hurts me, but I hurt them more faster.
Nice. Your build, you're unironically winning next update, bro. You're not even gonna need a respec. You're just gonna be like, put all my points back where they were. I'm very happy. If anyone has questions in the chat about combat update, feel free to ask. I would love to talk about it. Ask me about my combat update. I need to wear a hat that says that. Wait, actually, here. In the stream, I'll go ahead and put a little overlay above my head. How do I do this? Text? What the hell is GDI? Okay.
Wow, it's the BoJack Pirates. I'm gonna blow them up.
Nice.
Get Shrek Zangief. Wait, am I even on the right movie? I don't know where I am.
Very good. Dude.
Who am I?
Wait. Oh. It didn't save.
Oh yeah, I was getting movie pack 1 coins out the wazoo, so I could go get armor, so I could go do movie pack 2, so I could get more damage and lower my non-existent defense even more.
What's up, Cat? Cat, I was talking about Z-Soul drops. Where do you stand on Z-Souls right now? I'm curious. We don't have to talk about it now if you'd prefer to do it in private, but you know, if you want to talk about it here. We're removing the ability to punch. It says Cat in the chat, not me.
I'm going to the armor market. I like armor markets.
I do need to get some armor. Oh, chat is not working. I forgot to make chat work.
I can't believe you're doing chat GPT right now.
I feel like I've been accusated.
Good. These guys don't have good damage. This guy
it'll be a while before people get to try out the combat update. It'll be quite some time. Testers haven't even got their hands on it yet because, you know, it's still actively being developed. So a little while for it, but in due time.
Like movie pack 2 coins look kind of cool.
Yeah, they do. Munchkin cooked. One thing I'd like to do with the combat update in general is probably give people like an open beta so they can come in and test. Blue on the house background. Oh yeah, that blue is pretty bad. Let me just give it like a border. That's probably the solution. Oh, a white outline. Very good. That just looks awful. Okay. Personally, right now, I think Z-Soul drops is too common. Right now, I think Z-Soul XP is too. You're smoking crack. Dude, Z-Soul drops aren't common at all. I have the opposite opinion. I'll kill 10 challengers and get 1 fragment, which is 5 XP. I think the too common you're talking about is probably more for... I was saying we should reduce the Shenron trades and increase the amount of actual normal XP dropped from challengers. Because I've gotten... I want to say 70%. It's purely a number I'm pulling out, but that feels right. I've gotten like 70% of my XP from just Dragon Ball trades, which isn't right. I can't really even farm for my mastery. I'm like stuck waiting till I get Dragon Balls, which doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I will admit, I did in fact only get to level 2 because I went back on my word and went and got Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, you said you weren't going to?
Yeah, I was like, okay, I need these. I need level 2. I want racial state to actually exist. The Shenron's
I disagree
very strong
with you on the difficulty thing. I mean, the game, I think in general parts of it might feel too easy, but I don't think mastery is the too easy at all. Mastery is like the I don't know if me leveling my form would suddenly make me progress so much faster. Obviously it would help, but mastery is like holding me back right now. Like, look where my forms are at, and I've been doing challengers. My forms are quite behind. I'm pushing into Buu Saga. I don't even have level 3 third form. It just feels really bad, and mind you, that's mostly Dragon Ball trades. So I think reducing the Dragon Ball trades and increasing the mastery drops, because I don't know who the hell you're farming, but who I'm farming, I've got 2 form soul drops off what looks like, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 14 challenger kills. Yeah, I'm focusing specifically on master. I'm not talking about the broad game. That's a bigger conversation. These drops just feel terrible, and it's not your fault. I was saying this right before you joined, so I'll repeat it now so you don't think I'm like insulting your work, of course. But the drops just feel bad, and like the Z-Soul drops. Everything else, any TP is pretty good, honestly. But the Z-Soul drops, I feel like they just needed more testing, and that didn't happen. So it's not on you. Like, as I said, which you didn't hear, you can only test your numbers so much. Like, you can only theorize so much before someone actually needs to get their hands on it and give you feedback. And unfortunately, that didn't happen before they launched. But, I mean, it did, actually. They were tweaked before, but, you know, needs more than 1 or 2 tweak passes, as we have found out. But I just feel like I feel crippled in Z-Soul farming. Like, I feel like I'm farming challengers for the chance. I feel like I'm drinking sparkling soda right now with these Z-Soul farming. You know, I'm like getting a hint of Z-Soul. The essence of Z-Soul. There's a Z-Soul in the room when the drops were made. I'm taking the piss, of course, but you know, sparkling water. It's like you'll get a fucking hint of lemon. You're like, there was a lemon in the room when they made this drink.
This water's lemon forward. Sir, that's lemonade. Oh. Oh.
I haven't got to Gaiden Primal yet, so I can't speak of that. I did play the entire server on the test server. So I did, in fact, experience the scaling. I think it was changed once after or twice after that. But, you know, I have progressed through the whole thing in this update, technically. Excuse me.
I'm fighting non-transforming 16.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I've been a little underwhelmed with the Z Soul drops. I feel like I'm getting most of my XP from Dragon Balls, and mind you, I want to reduce Dragon Balls. I want to reduce Dragon Ball trades, which I said is going to be like controversial. Like people will be upset about that, but we need to give them something else of value to trade. Which again, I know that's an issue, which you point out often.
Yeah, I know.
But we can figure that out later. I just know that Dragon Ball trade's too high, Z Soul trade's too low. So let's like do that, you know? Or this, ideally. Dragon Ball trades should not Dragon Balls should not be your sole source of XP, because let's be honest, who gets more Dragon Balls? Donors. So it just becomes another issue where Z Souls or Mastery ends up being easier for a donor. And I'm playing free to play, so I'm not experiencing that, but I know I would have more Dragon Balls to trade as a donor with crate keys and Dragon Balls for my kids and all that. Speaking of testers, we need more testers we need more testers focused more on the scaling aspect, that are critical of our scaling rather than critical of bugs, because those are two different testing, right? Like finding bugs is amazing. That's like QA, but we need balanced testers.
Are Primal and God easier now than they were on release?
Absolutely. Everything is easier. Cat's not wrong about that. Do you think Primal and God can get more experience because it's hard to get from... Wait, what? I don't think they were asking that, Cat. I think they were just asking, like, as a balancing change.
I don't think... If it's easier than it was on release, I think God is fine, because release didn't even feel that bad for God and Primal.
Well, back when... What do you mean release?
Like when they came out.
Well, when God came out, there was no blue, so I would say you're objectively wrong, because training to max it for nothing was just depressing. Now you effectively max God at level 7, even though its scaling doesn't stop. Or 6, actually. It still scales into blue, but rather you're not really going to be using it. Anyway, so like you move on to a different form, so it feels better inherently.
Yo.
Sorry, I was reading a text. Yeah, you can definitely, like, if you wanna apply for the tester in our Discord, we have a applications channel. We'd be happy to have you. I mean, obviously, you know, might get accepted, might get denied, we'll see. But definitely apply. So I'm checking a text message, and I forgot what else I was doing on my phone. There was one other thing.
You better watch out, buddy. I'm gonna clear all of the rest of Cell Saga and Buu Saga and
I hope you do. Up. I hope you do. Yeah, but I don't know. I would definitely like to... I had a easy way to do this. Depending on the number you'd be okay with. I personally think just slapping plus 5% on every Z-Soul drop would be a really effective way to do this. Would it be perfect? I don't know. Or better yet, don't do a static increase. Go change all the 10s to number, all the 15s to number. You know what I'm saying? Because there's, in a way, there's almost brackets of drops where it's like they go from 5 all the way up to 25. We can just adjust those 5 brackets as we see fit, or just add plus 5 to everything, whatever it is. Because what I don't want to do is put Rye into forced labor for a tweak like this. It feels unnecessary when we have ways we can retroactively do this. What's up, Apples? Nice to see ya.
Hello. Wah, wah,
My cat's made a weird meow.
Wah, wah.
I feel ya. I've been busy with everything I've been doing for the combat update. It's the IRL stuff, of course.
Why is job hunting a full-time job?
Literally. I can totally relate to that, man. Oh! This guy's skin is ugly as shit, bro. What is wrong with Spovovich? Look at my screen.
I wouldn't know. I didn't do it.
I know, bro. Maybe you need to do it. This is definitely just a PMC skin with a lazily drawn Majin logo from me.
Die, Goku. Okay, Goku's dead. Yay. Hey, Vegeta, what's up? Die, Vegeta.
Real.
Yay, Vegeta's dead. I'm the main character now.
It's a great idea, Kat. That would probably help the turnover rate a lot as well. Sorry for answering in stream, but it's not really that private, to be honest. It's not. I've been looking and finally had an opening after waiting months. Oh, hell yeah, nice. Nice, GG. I'm glad to hear it. Have you seen some of the recent stuff we've been doing on the uploads on the channel? The combat update stuff? Definitely pretty excited for when that ends up coming around. Yo, look what Kat just said, Rook.
Where? Who?
In the chat we're in. The call we're in.
Oh, well, yeah, wow.
You just made this little guy feel so vindicated, Kat. For context, Kat
Because
just...
it's a good freaking idea.
In our chat, Kat just basically suggested the same pity system for Z-Soul drops that Rook was talking about. Oh yeah, sorry, I missed that message, Tyler. Give me 1 second. That's fair, apples. Yeah, I'm glad you've seen some of the stuff, Akita. Or Akito, sorry, not Akita. Very exciting to work on the combat update. Like, super happy to finally be, changing the gameplay itself beyond just visuals. When do you think we can get more story? It's gonna be a while. I think you said Dragon Ball AF and Daima earlier. I don't know where you got AF from. That's probably never gonna happen. We haven't even finished Super yet. Our next Super story is Future Saga, and we're doing that after the combat update, and then we'll probably do another Super story pretty quickly after that. And then once we're done with the Super anime, we have it's Toyotara's fan-made anime or series. That's where Super Saiyan 5 came from. So we're probably never gonna do that because I don't know. I don't even know. I haven't read anything of it, but I don't really care. We have like the entire manga to do after we finish the anime, right? So, and by the time we get there, the anime might be airing again. Dude, if the anime comes back and starts airing, we're just gonna get like free hype because people are gonna want to play again, and they're gonna realize, wait, this server's really fucking good because they haven't played in like 6 years, Like, wait a minute, this is actually like a good game. It'd be the best feeling, dude. Do you have your PMs open? Because, the bot needs to be able to PM you. I think you can enable PMs from, like, a specific account, I hope. Because I also don't like opening my PMs fully. I don't want random people messaging me. Yeah, but we got a long time. I don't know. Our focus for a long while has just been on adding, just making the game good before we worry about adding new story. You think, like, what do you mean, Kat? Like, they're gonna start writing again? Because hasn't it been on hiatus for some time?
Yeah, a bit.
Why the fuck was it on hiatus?
Toyotara
That's what you mean, but why was it on hiatus? Go ahead.
I don't know. Toyotara probably was planning his stuff out or something. Or taking some time to grieve.
Why'd he take some time to grieve 9 months later?
Or maybe they wrote Daima.
Did they go on break whenever, like, after they finished an arc, or was it like mid-arc? Because I'm not reading
he finished up the arc, which was the Cell Max one. They did all the like extra stuff, and then went on break.
Okay, so that makes sense. Why, if it was for grief, you might have waited. That makes sense. Also, definitely not planning. That's not Dragon Ball like at all. Get your head out of your ass.
Well, that's not Toriyama's Dragon Ball at all.
That's fair. And I haven't read literally any Toyotara's work because I don't really care to read the manga. I don't really read manga. I don't watch anime or read manga in general at the moment. But
he doesn't read
manga. I don't read. I've been winging it.
Borderline literate.
Borderline literate? That's hilarious. Cell Max would have been good if he wasn't semi-perfect Cell, but red. Make it... Dude, if Buddy actually transformed... Okay. The Dragon Ball writers fucking suck. I'm not even going to try to be nice, because all you had to do, have imperfect Cell Max. He's red. Sure, the red part wasn't the issue. Have him start imperfect. He's weak. He's getting beat by, like, Gohan and Piccolo pretty easily. But then he absorbs one of the dudes, just like Cell. One of the Gammas or whatever. And then, oh, he's semi-perfect, and he's a lot stronger now. Then he's actually, you know, he's actually doing okay. And then he goes, you get what I'm saying. He actually fucking transforms like Dragon Ball characters. That also would have made him more interesting. You could sell more figures. You can make more Dokkan cards and get more money. Are they stupid? Are they dumb? I'm being super, like, dramatic here, but, like, you would have fixed your power scaling issue, because instead you have the boss that spawns into existence one-shotting the main character. Like, I fucking despise animes or any series where they're like, this guy's strong, and it's like, that's it. He was just made strong. He didn't even, like, power up. He just was beating everyone. No. Make him transform. It's Cell. Dude, I think everyone would have liked him more if he went imperfect, semi-perfect, and then maybe super max, Cell Max. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. I enjoyed the movie though. Like, I wasn't offended watching it, I'll be honest. It's just like, in looking back on it, I'm just like, why? And I cannot say the same about the Broly movie. I can't really nitpick the Broly movie too well. I'm just like, yeah, it was fine. Kind of like, you know, pretty good. I haven't watched Daima. I know that they did, in fact, do Super Saiyan 4, though. You know, it's funny because I'm, like, so susceptible to spoilers. Because anytime there's a new form, the suggestion channel is going to light up the next day. I'm going to read it as I do. And it's going to be, please add Super Saiyan 4 Daima. And I'm like, huh? Luckily, I actually saw it before that. Not, like, naturally, but, like, I had already, like, saw someone talk about it and post it a little bit more naturally than that. So I didn't just get spoiled in my own suggestions channel. That'd be tragic.
Deserved, but tragic.
That's right.
No.
You meanie. The movie is the fact that they did the entire Super Saiyan 2 Yeah. Also, like, can we just stop having characters that are one-shotting people? I do. What is the point in giving Gohan a new form just to wipe the enemy? And I'm aware this happens in anime, but guys, Gohan still had to fight Cell in Super Saiyan 2. They still fought. Cell was still strong. Gohan was just kind of had the upper edge, just like Goku with Super Saiyan against Frieza. He was stronger than him, but he wasn't tenfold stronger. He wasn't, like, actually bullying him. He's not Gogeta. But it's all, the answer is it's a movie, right?
I will say that the manga made it more interesting.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Because it was like Goten and Trunks doing this whole, like, they're sub Saiyamen, like baby Saiyamen or like the next generation, whatever, or something like that.
Sure.
And they're running around like investigating some bad stuff happening, and then like they trace back all the Cell Max stuff, and then the movie starts there.
Okay, that's cool. If there's more build up, that's why I was kind of a fan of Super getting an anime, because, you know, you had a chance for BOG and ROF to be, you know, riffed on more than it was. But, you know, Toei put their absolute worst leg forward and, you know, embarrassed themselves.
Can you be embarrassed if you have no shame?
I'm reading all of Kat's chats. 1 second.
Wow, that was close.
One thing for me is, like, I feel like somewhere between Z and Super, you know, that like 20+ year gap, I feel like somewhere in there Dragon Ball fans like forgot what Dragon Ball Z was, which it sounds a little weird, But, like, I feel like with all the fan theories that, like, you know, the things that kept Dragon Ball alive, all the bullshit, all the fan games, all the, you know, okay games we got in between there, I feel like Dragon Ball fans forgot what Dragon Ball fundamentally was on a writing level. Dragon Ball was, like, never... I feel like they misunderstand the series. And that's kind of, like, ignorant to say, but, like, a lot of people just kind of... I don't know. It's like... It's this thing with, like, Toriyama's SBS answers. They're always taking, like, absolute gospel. As if Dragon Ball is, like, this doctorate that, like, everything's perfect and Toriyama's just making little amendments and little tweaks and he's answering questions to perfect it. It was, like, literally never that. The anime never made any, or the series never made any fucking sense. If you thought for more than, like, 3 seconds, you'd be like, that doesn't make sense, but, oh, whatever. You know? That's always how I've interpreted it. I've always kind of been lost when Dragon Ball fans, like, will sit here and argue, and this happens a lot because, you know, there's a lot to discuss in Dragon Ball, but, like, people get, like, really heated about these arguments, like, debating the balancing, or, like, you know, can Metamora infuse with infinite amount of people? And it's like, even if it could, it doesn't make any sense. I kind of just don't claim that. Is that a hater-ass response? Sure. And is it not fun? Sure. But, like, what good does that even do to the series? Why would you want an entire, like... It's just stuff like that where, like, I feel like Toriyama was taking the piss, and people took it too seriously. You know? I don't know, though. Does anyone know the proper context and, like, purpose of the SBS? Did Toriyama, like, ever state that it was, like, supposed to be factual, or was it, like, just a fun interview, or what?
Is the SBS the thing that says Tien is a 3-eye, not a human?
I don't know. I think any external answer that, like, lore-wise, that's usually where people get it from. Yeah, if you've watched Dragon Ball OG, this isn't even, like, I feel like I've watched it. I'm on my rewatch now. I watched it when I was young. Like, I came across Zeke High on TV, and then I was interested, and I, like, had, you know, I had, like, DVD rental Netflix back then, and, I was like, Dad, can we get Dragon Ball? Can you order this for me? And, like, you know, I started watching Dragon Ball. I don't think I ever, like, rewatched Kai. I think I skipped straight to GT after Dragon Ball, since I had seen, like, Z on TV, right? Which, mind you, I never watched Buu, because that came out, like, 5 years later. Or something crazy like that. Like, it took forever. So, like, I've pieced together the Buu Saga from all the media I've consumed. Which is hilarious, but... I don't know, man. I feel like I feel like I'm like a boomer, like sitting here disgruntled talking about what's every, you know, just like kind of an asshole about the series that we all love. Because, like, I do love the series, but I just feel like the fans make it, like, kind of hard. You know, the same way a lot of people talk about, like, certain fan groups and, like, some of the modern day anime that make it, like, hard to be an enjoyer of the series. I feel like some people just take the series too seriously. And, like, man, these power scaling debates where someone will just pull out of their ass saying, and if the person sees this who said this in the Discord not that long ago, I'm just taking the piss here, but, like, people will bring up fucking Goku biting Whis' tail as a fucking power scaling feat, and it makes me actually want to, like, commit a crime, like, unironically, because it's like, guys, it's funny! It's not power scaling! I mean... I feel like you really, like, lose the plot when you start power scaling an anime character biting someone. Like, have we all watched the same anime? Have a good day, Apples. Thanks for dropping in. But, like, have we all watched the same series? Like, Goku biting, he's done that like 4 times. And yes, it hurts the enemy and it's a thing, but, like, I just don't think it's the same as, like, Goku punching Whis. You know what I'm saying? I think those are very, very different. I also think you could argue Whis' guard would be more down for being bit than being punched. You know? Because who expects to be bit? That's actually just Goku's 4,000 IQ martial arts skills. He just knows how to get the upper hand on the enemy. I just feel like such a fucking Dragon Ball hater when I talk about this stuff. But I don't know, man. It's just where I'm at with the franchise.
I feel like such a Jedi whenever I go augmented buffed and look at my arm.
That is sick, first off. But what Kat said is so true. She said people want to scale that, but they won't scale, you know, Krillin throwing a rock at Goku. Because here's the thing. The rock throw, everyone's talked about it. It's like, obviously we're all aware, we all kind of agree that, like, yeah, that's like a Goku caught off guard or a plot hole, depending on your perspective. But, like, we just act like the Whis bite makes more sense than that. Okay, was Whis not caught off guard? To me, that's like the same damn argument, you know? Whis was caught off guard because he wasn't ready for Goku to bite him, let alone do that in general.
Yeah, we're civilized creatures. Why would he bite him?
And also, like, I would not say I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball. I have so many grievances with it, but guess what? I got a grievance with any anime I like. Attack on Titan, one of my favorite series, that anime was handled awfully. Like, towards the end, you know, like the fucking 3-part season 4 or whatever it was. That was silly. That was goofy business. But, like, doesn't mean it's ruined. The franchise, and if I wanted, I could just read the manga and probably get a way better experience anyway. But, like, I don't know, I just don't care to. It didn't bother me that much. I just, like, went and lived my life in between those long, like, hiatuses or whatever, right? Between seasons. I'm just like, whatever. Let's go touch grass, maybe. Which I didn't touch grass, but, you know, I had things to do. Dragon Balls, yay. Yay, I could finally level. I'm about to get more XP than I've gotten from all my Z Souls. Yay. That's so depressing, honestly, though. Like, I'm taking the piss, but it is so sad and, like, frustrating. Because it just makes my, like, actual mastery grind feel, like, underwhelming and, like, a letdown. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Kat. Biggest Dragon Ball fans will be the biggest haters. But I feel like it's important to be able to critique a series you love, you know? I feel like if you just look at it and you're like, this is gospel, you're just probably wrong, because I guarantee the writer made 1 or 2 mistakes. And it's not to say, like, I don't give a shit if Toriyama made a bunch of mistakes. He still, like he still created the series I love and literally, like, run a server on, you know? It'd be silly to say I don't respect his work. I respect his work, but I also respect its goofiness. And, you know, I actually think, like, I think I'm going to try to get back to my Dragon Ball rewatch. Because I don't know. It was fun. I was, like, about halfway through it. I was having a good time. I want to get back to that rewatch so I can kind of, I want to get to Z, and I want to start watching Z, because I'm really excited to watch Z when I'm actually not, like, 12, and get to experience it and understand it more, probably. Sounds like a good time. Yeah, dude, the world of Dragon Ball is amazing. I honestly wish it was expanded more, especially in Super. And, you know, yeah, we got the universes, but, like, the universes were, like, a cop-out for world building, bro. What fucking world did they build? It was all theoretical world building. They were like, yeah, man, there's these universes. When did we see any of it? All we saw was a bunch of, like, just a bunch of wasted time on character designs for the TOP, just to have a big, cool fight, because they were trying to, like, Marine Ford us, and that failed. In my opinion. They're like, look, guys, we have Marine Ford at home.
Invalid opinion, make a second one.
Second TOP. Yeah. And I won't harp on it too much, because I'm sure a lot of people disagree with this take, but, you know, it's okay. We can all have opinions. I still love the series at the end of the day. Never not going to be a Dragon Ball fan. Oh, I'm missing some Dragon Balls in the Broly movies. I almost feel like the Dragon Radar makes collecting Dragon Balls too easy. But on the same note, would I even bother collecting them if I had to actually look for them like they were hidden collectibles? Definitely not. And then I feel like Dragon Balls would actually just be useless at that point. Like, in a really bad way.
Wait, why am I farming Cooler when I can farm Broly?
That's a good question. Is Broly a better farm for you?
Broly's armor is better.
Wait, I need to go figure out which armor I want to farm. That's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna try to get an armor set that will last me a while because I don't want to have to just go replace it in like 10 minutes.
For me, it's simple. Bigger damage is the only thing that matters.
That's fair. I'm just gonna, yeah, I mean, pretty much the same for me, to be honest. Is, you know, armor damage is free damage since you're not actually using more con with armor damage.
Oh, that's why I'm not farming Broly. He beat my ass.
That's fair. Yeah, Broly is quite strong. I could probably farm him at this. I just don't know, like, if I could farm him quickly enough that I want to go farm coins. You also don't need to farm Broly. You could technically just farm a way weaker guy. Probably any multi-enemy in the Broly Saga would be good. And you'll find out pretty quick if they do or don't drop the coins. I think the only time people don't drop coins is in GT, which, by the way, Kat, can I mention that we should just, like, change that? The fact that there's parts in GT where, like, you just don't get coin drops, like, earlier in each saga is just goofy. Can we, like, agree on that? I don't know why we put coin drops. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong, but I remember, like, when GT released, like, we only had coin drops, like the last few quests of every saga or something like that. So, like, people would be farming GT in general, and they'd just be kind of confused. It would be like, yeah, it's just weird. Dude, where is this last Dragon Ball? No wonder I missed it. Dude, like, yeah, I'm missing one Dragon Ball. Man. What if Namek balls were just worth less than 7 normal balls? Because there's an issue
Like
in Namek
logic.
balls. Like, Lord Slug Saga here drops 3 Dragon Balls, okay? That's cool. Drops 1 Namek ball. Now that's 10 Dragon Balls. That's just, like, insane. We got inflation, bro.
Make it 3, because the 3 bigger 3 is 1.
3 wishes. Going to be the trade. It's going to be the trade. I guess. Wait, what? Oh, so there'd be like ass drop rates. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Dragon Ball, too good.
I feel like that's another thing where we should just go automate that, and that shouldn't even be like it should be scaled, yes, but like it should just be a calculation, and like nobody should be inputting these things. I feel like that's just such a weird thing, especially like quest enemy drops. Like that's so awkward. Because challengers, you don't make sense input for now, but like that's true. But also, same argument, they literally might do that on accident right now and actually never get anything. So I would argue maybe that's worse. Because you gotta have like magic game knowledge to know at that point. Oh, I actually have 9 Z-Soul shards. Next podcast, I should like not touch my Z-Soul shards and just see how many I get the whole stream. Assuming I farm a lot. If I don't farm a lot, it's kind of irrelevant, but... Oh, am I about to level? Yes! Dude, no way. I leveled on my last Z-Soul. Let's go. I'm strong. I'm gonna go fight my next quest now. I think I'm prepared. The G-Shaw. Alright, let's do it, boys. Time.
Why is Trunks always a princess?
I think it's a AF joke. No, I think it's a GT joke. Fanta was definitely the one who put that in, though. But I love new third form with the fact that it actually looks cool. You know, I actually like have horns, and it's like I think before they had horns, but you know it was just a little underwhelming. Buu is beating my ass. He might still be too strong. Oh, wait. I have a bunch of decks I could put in. Gotta level the deck stat before it gets deleted.
Uh-huh. There's no problems with this mentality.
Look what Cat asked you, bro.
Huh? Because I already am.
Damn. Kind of cooked on that.
Actually, I guess the real question is, why isn't Vegeta? I thought he was a real man. A real man can be the prettiest princess. And maintain total masculinity. Vegeta is actually a princess. That's why.
Alright. Try this quest. Oh, let me put my... Oh.
I'm gonna deck stack in Dragon Block Apollo.
You're definitely not, actually.
Yeah, I am. I did it on accident.
Oh!
I have 25 dexterity. That's and more than 15. My build's been soiled. Been dirtied. Perverted.
Yeah, this fight is a lot easier now that I actually used my TP that I gained. Dynamite having 20 stack limit makes them very useful.
You are a very reliable engine.
Also, the pills that passive heal you are amazing.
Alright.
No, they're great because they stop you from dying. Because, you know, you'll just heal proc right before death. Not that you would know about that, because, you know.
There's no need for me to heal because at the very end, we both fall over.
But he's playing as the protagonist.
We grasp each other by the arms and go, "Good fight, bro."
Yo, how does it feel playing prototype combat update with no decks? Well, no, you'd be forced. You're actually gonna be forced to have defense. How do you feel about that?
Oh.
Should we have
you
a button?
You can't reduce my incoming damage.
Should we just have a button that's like, I don't want any defense. Turn off my damage reduction. Let me take these hits. That would actually be probably cool for, like, I don't know, something. I'm sure someone would find that as a neat, like, quality, like some kind of like feature for
trade off defense, get extra damage.
Dude, nice metal arms, bro. Are you happy we did both arms instead of just one?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Fine.
I've got it still stuck. I got it still stuck in my head that
we only have one.
No, that I went into Movie Pack 2 and I saw Cooler, Meta Cooler, and I was like, man, if we had rendering player models, we could have just made the big version of the...
Yeah. You know, it's funny, Cooler would look better, too, because, you know, I'm sure that Cooler model is not amazing.
There's no point for me to go back and redo it, because I've already done it.
No, literally. It's definitely, I mean, I would argue, actually, that's another benefit to animating enemies, because then if they literally are fundamentally a player model, like player everything's easier, because, you know, oh, you want to put Goku in Super Saiyan? Well, there you go. He gets, I mean, the aura, you know, I already did.
Everything you can do, the enemies can do better.
I mean, that is the idea. And honestly, I feel like with how many people have asked me about enemy animations, it's probably worth putting a little bit more time into. Because, okay, name an enemy that can't be animated. The only one that comes to mind is like Yaokan, bro. Because he has like a silly, goofy model. Some of the other crazy dudes like that, like GT probably. But honestly, if those dudes just default to Minecraft, I think that'd be a lot better. If 90% of the game is animated and then just like 5% of them instead of 100% of your enemies.
Just make weird enemies default to just ground slamming.
And guess what? Frieza wouldn't look like booty cheeks anymore because, you know, all you need to do is make a Frieza face, and then guess what? You make a new Frieza face that's up to new standard. We just get to we get to have more character faces. It's a win-win-win-win-win. Because that's the only thing that Frieza would need updated, and like his armor. But there would definitely be.
Already exists too.
No, it doesn't. I mean, recolor battle armor, sure.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? We should render character skin to make Frieza and set his colors and all that. But then just, like, effectively just have an overlay where it's his face and his armor. Basically anything not from the CC, right? Just to keep it simple so it's, like, one thing rather than a bunch.
I could just be fighting turtles.
Heck yeah.
Because he drops movie coins.
That's the idea.
Wow. Die, turtle.
For anyone in the stream who hasn't heard me say it already, if you guys have any questions about the combat update, feel free to ask. We're more than willing to discuss it with you guys. We would, in fact, love to.
His strength is increasing. No, it's not. He's getting one shot. He's weak.
Okay, let me go to the armor market and see what I want to get for armor. So obviously Broly's pretty good. Losing Dex isn't fun, so maybe I'll avoid that for the time being. Look at Android 13, that's a classic.
Can't relate.
Well, you don't... Yeah, Android 13 is aight, but like 5% strength versus 9... Big difference, almost like literally almost double. It's funny that Metamoran is almost better than Android 13. Okay, destroyed Goku's cool, but if I'm doing that, I might as well just go Broly and sacrifice 1 more Dex for 2 more strength. Yeah, I'm going to go Broly. Problem solved. And yes, you can in fact farm. Yeah, you're right about that. You could farm turtles for your Broly coins. Oh.
In that case, I'm gonna go fight the Slug Man. Hey, Slug Man,
but this
you're
is someone
dead.
else's coin. Get rid of that. How the heck did I even get that? Honestly, we really should. There's probably a lot to consider about armor. The fact that you could do that is kind of goofy, silly. Like the fact that you can just go farm Lord Slug enemies for Broly armor is definitely a creative choice.
Well, it's like, it's way less coins. I remember it like...
No, I mean, the drop rates are less, but the fact that, like, they still exist and are relatively plausible is kind of silly. Considering you're literally talking about 2 Saiyan Saga quest lines versus a Cell Saga one. For a Cell Saga level armor set. Actually, all of the MP3 armor sets are pretty higher level. Because we didn't want them to suck. And Broly's set being high level makes sense. But then again, do we want 9 movie pack coins instead of 3? I don't think so. So...
I'm flying around in circles trying to spawn something and I don't have the quest.
Movie pack coins would be a perfect thing to be digital only. That you can't trade them already. There's a lot of them, so item bloat is a problem. I don't know. Oh, this quest actually gives an okay amount of TP. I'll take 20,000 TP.
Mobby digitized all their currencies.
It's a good idea. Especially when you already have a bajillion items flooding your inventory. Them digitizing it was probably more of a damn near necessity from what I've seen in your inventory.
No, that's just a me problem.
Oh, you just... ADHD.
Yeah, my girlfriend, like, spazzes out when she sees my inventory, too.
tweak out a little too. It's overwhelming. Be one of those things like I imagine if you went a while without playing, you come back to that, you'd probably want to blow your brains out.
Yeah, she's got her bags like named and item sorted, and then like they automatically just go into whatever bag they're supposed to, and I just pop in bag, get bigger bag.
That's not fire. You should feel ashamed. Everyone
Look, dude, I have a search function. I can just search my bags. I don't need to know where anything is.
Man, you know how good it feels to just like have gone from 1 to 3 flickers throughout this podcast without even trying? Like, it's just a background feature. That's why when anyone like quote unquote you know, complains about flickers being annoying, it's because they're trying to farm them, which I know is redundant, right? Because you're like, wouldn't you want to farm it? Nah, it kind of is a passive thing. You just use your farm.
I got my flicker in a fight when I needed it, and it just whooped his ass, and then bled out because we both like grasped arms and went, "That was a good fight, bro."
That's sick. It's just fun. $11 people watching. What's up, y'all? If y'all have any questions about combat update or anything about the server, feel free to ask. That's like one of the big purposes of this podcast. You get a chance to Q&A me live instead of like just over text. Oh, either way works, but
wait.
I kind of like the idea, Kat. At a point, armor was actually like dropped from NPCs. I'm sure you remember that time. That was pre-GT. Gear coins were like an innovation to make it less annoying. Which at the time, you know, it's all subjective, right? Because at the time, it's all relative, rather. At the time, it was bad. Like, you know, farming armor sets from specific enemies was frustrating. I think, honestly, giving Turles movie pack a chance, the whole movie pack, the same way it drops gear coins, just give it a chance to drop the Turles set, period. But like really low chance, depending, you know what I mean? Just give it a drop pool is what I'm saying, right? The same way most MMOs do things.
Oh, I wasn't informed. That explains a lot.
That'll do it.
Saying Saga gear coin.
I am not getting a lot of uncommon coins. I would really like to make the new quest starting GUI. I just don't know if players would value that enough for me to like need to do it this update, or if that's one of those things that should just wait until like 1.4.
Just wait until you see it.
Because honestly, I've yet to hit an issue this update where I'm like, oh man, I'm demotivated on combat. Because if I get demotivated on melee combat, guess what? I mean, first off, it's hard to, because there's like actually 7 features within melee combat. Like there's tons of things to bounce around. And then even then, I'll just go work on key. And even then, I could just like work on any of the other, like I can go change stats. Like there's a lot to the point that like I don't need to jump. Whereas like MP3, there wasn't necessarily a lot of things I could bounce around. There was, but that was the problem. I made things to bounce around. The core features, that was the problem. Those were not the bouncing. The bouncing was non-core features, sub-features, if you will. Well, I'm trying to keep this update focused and directed towards the core features.
Core memories.
Something like that. For now, I think I like... Honestly, Kat, I like the gear coins more now, I'll be honest. It's more just like, it's slightly irritating, right? Like having to trade them. But other than that, I like it. And I think the only time armor should drop should be in dungeons, period. Like, you know, you open a chest. The drops in dungeons, I don't really think enemies should drop things. I like the idea of chests a lot more. I really like how 14 does that. The only thing I'd say is chests will be... Yeah, no, digitizing them would absolutely be a W. Because, like, having to manage that in my bank, especially when you can't shift into the bank, that's a different issue. But it makes it even more annoying. Because I don't want to put that in my global chest. But I also, you know, it's just annoying. It's another topic. The bank was supposed to be replaced by the global chest at some point. But with how tabs have gone, that's unlikely to happen.
Replaced just like High Pickle.
Yeah, I mean, the bank, I don't think there's even a point in me, like, going through and tweaking and fixing how the bank functions. Like, I feel like fundamentally, you can just have Zenny unlock. Like, that was already kind of the plan. Let people unlock some tabs with Zenny. Let some of them be donor unlocks. That's already how Global Chess works. And I was already planning in the future that there'd be some you unlock in-game with Zenny, just like the bank. Just have it be, like, stupidly expensive, you know, like every game. Oh, your first one's 10,000? Oh, your second one's 100? Oh, your third tab's like 1 million? You know, shit like that. Classic, right? Like, stupidly raise the price.
I got internal server error.
Terrible farm. I'm gonna go try to find a quest with multiple enemies that I can do. Ambush. Alright, one-shot that dude. Well, I will say, though, farming the Broly was nice because he was actually, like, you know, giving me drops. So I'm at least going to go back to the slave ring quest. Because these enemies are at least giving 20,000. Which is an okay amount of TP. 10 completions will at least, like, give me 100 levels. Man, stamina is such an annoying mechanic when you're, like, casually playing.
Mostly, like... Mostly, like, multi-enemies.
Yeah, no, specifically. Especially, because multi-enemies are, like, always weak, right? Like, relatively speaking. Since they're never going to be as strong as the last dude you fought. You're not going to fight the last dude 3 times. That would be insane. I'm really excited for Dungeons, despite that being quite some time away. Like, I'm excited to get back to Dungeons, or to get working on Dungeons, because I'm like, I don't know, man. Combat has really raised my confidence level for, like, coding new things, right? Because I won't lie, going into Combat Update, I didn't know if I was or wasn't going to be able to match the quality expectation I had personally set for myself, right?
You know what I want?
What's up?
Remember those horde battles from Kakarot?
Vaguely.
Where it's like a bunch of dudes that actually do quite a bit of damage, but they're like pretty squishy, and there's just like an insane amount of them. And you have to go through like popping them all, and then like there's like some sergeants and stuff at the end.
Yeah. I want to say that's basically just Dungeons, but that's if we want to be lazy. I definitely think we need more game modes in general. So like one where you just fight waves of enemies would be fun. And is that similar to Dungeons? I mean, sure, if you want to be very like simple about this and say a lot of trash mobs equal Dungeons, which isn't true, right? Like that's a simplification on both sides. But yeah, no, I think more mechanics would be absolutely fun. I don't think anyone would ever be mad if we add more mechanics. The problem is always just like making them useful, which is why I'm like resistant to just making new mechanics, right? Like Dungeons is gonna be our first new gameplay mechanic, like gameplay system, not mechanic, in a long time. And making that, you know, important matters a lot, you know? We don't want that to just be like a lame background thing, if you will. Because if we add this horde battle and then it's just like non-existent and there's actually no point because it gives lame TP and Zenny. Because you got to have the conversation like, okay, we're adding Dungeons. That's going to be like a new core system that you're going to want to do with like, it'll be something to keep you from only doing quests and challenges forever, yeah? And then is the horde battle also going to be that? And then is another mechanic also going to be that, to the point where you're sharing 5 systems progression? It's really hard to supplement things and say, okay, this is like only for this portion of the game, you know?
Maybe. I was thinking just for story.
Oh, there's
like we have a bunch of missions where...
You know what? Yeah, a lot of the multi-enemy quests are like that. Well, beside the Frieza Soldier one in early Namek, because that is actually just a handful of soldiers, but I get what you're saying. There should be some quests, like this Slavery Ring one, which is a crazy title, you should just be fighting a big gackle of enemies, right? Like there should just be a big, like, there should just be like 50 of them. It'd be fun. ROF, yeah, that's literally where the horde battle was. It was an ROF thing, I remember.
And then probably slug soldiers too, right?
Yeah.
Slimy slug.
I don't know, man.
Battle.
I have like a new, I mean, you guys already know this is more for like the podcast people, but like I kind of have a newfound interest in, this sounds really silly because some people are gonna be like, well, no shit, finally. But for me, it's like for a long time I was focused on just making the server really pretty and like quality of life and just making it feel good to play. But like, you know, I've played my fair share of video games where at the end of the day I just want to like be able to like play the game, right? Like you want new content, you want new ways to experience it, new ways to have fun. And holy shit, I'm not getting any gear coin drops. This is painful. This is quite the farm. At least I'm getting good TP. But yeah, like I have a newfound thing where I'm just like, I just really want to work on like making combat fun as shit so that people have like, I mean, you know, combat being fun is actually just gonna make the entire game fun, right? Like all of a sudden your every boring quest that was boring is now at least better gameplay. Even if it's still just another boring linear quest in progression, which, you know, I think that's kind of another thing about that, side tangent. The fact that quests end up kind of just being one stronger than the last, like linear progression, is kind of just symptomatic of how many quests we have, right? Like, to be honest, if we wanted to make the game progress and like kind of fun, we're like, I don't know, we'd pretty much just have to change, let's say, Z Saga from 70 quests down to like, I don't know, 30, like half it, you know what I mean? If we want it to really be impactful and fun progression-wise, rather than just few trash fights, strong wall.
Maybe not 30.
And honestly, I feel like I don't want to ever do that. Like, I like the full fat, you know? And arguably, we kind of did trim some parts. There could have been probably 80 quests in Z Saga pretty easily. So I would say we arguably already did that.
Where are all those 25 TP gems coming from? What the heck?
Rounding error moment.
Leave me alone, Tiny TP.
I don't know though. I am super excited for everything combat update. These combat demos have been pushing out have been just incredible to work on. Like at this point, melee combat's almost done. After the next demo I'm gonna upload, I would say we're kind of done with melee combat. Well, there's a lot more balancing and tweaks to be made, but fundamentally, the core mechanics will be done.
Man, it's crazy. I remember seeing these Bojack guys in the Dragon Ball Legends story.
Wow, we're literally Dragon Ball Legends, bro.
We wish.
No, not at all, actually. Nobody wants to be the second best Dragon Ball Z gacha game.
No, it's first best.
How so? I wouldn't consider PS2 gameplay better. Candy Crush wins, buddy. I'm sorry.
No. Also, if we're talking Candy Crush games, the Doctor Who Legacy game that got taken down was way more fun.
I've literally never played it. Did it play like Dokkan though? Like bubble popping?
No, it was bubble popping, but like it had all those special abilities and stuff. And
yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
It was like Puzzle and Dragons, but instead of like, you know, rolling gacha, you played missions and they dropped. Characters dropped out of missions.
I'll be fully honest. I am and always will be completely biased towards Legends. Like, I'm never going to like Legends because I was playing Dokkan for, you know, like 6-7 years before Legends even existed or something like that. So I was physically never going to touch Legends, period. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to play a second gacha game, especially a second DBZ gacha game. I was only ever playing 2 gacha games at one point in my life, and it was Dokkan and 7 Deadly Sins. Because 7 Deadly Sins was very, very different gameplay-wise. It was like a card game where you put your card attacks out, merge them to get stronger, that kind of thing.
I miss Brave Frontier.
Oh, dude, Brave Frontier was fun when I played it when I was young. I kind of wish I had played it when I was a little bit older so I could kind of appreciate it more. You know what, Rook, can you do me a favor in terms of particles? No. You should do it anyway, please. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have you seen the debris particles from the hit slam?
No.
You could see testing wave if you want to look at them now or later. It doesn't matter. If there's anything you think you can improve on them, they're ones Munchkin made a while ago, but like, you know, this is like GT update they were made, so maybe. But they're just rocks. More actually, that circle effect I was talking about, whether for now I'll just reuse the blocking one so I can get work going on it. But what I'm gonna do is just fundamentally, like, I'm gonna add that when you do a hit slam, so there's just a big circle effect and a bunch of rocks come out as well. So that'd be cool. And then also hitting the wall, you know, all these things. Which, by the way, I don't know how much you've seen of the hit slam stuff, but it actually feels pretty damn nice with all the tweaks I made to it. I made sure that, like, they have to travel a certain amount of distance, so you can't just hit down slam someone into the floor, because that was in fact a thing you could do for like 2 minutes. What are the other mediations? A few other things to make sure you can't just abuse it, but oh, also the stun is like an actual full stun. It's the only actual full stun right now in the game. So like when you're hit into a wall or whatever, you're like actually unable to move. You're crippled. Because it just felt really silly to slam the enemy into the ground, see a bunch of rocks flying out, and then them just walk at you because they're stunned, but they could still move slowly, right? Like, it just felt bad.
That's so like one of those moments where you'd have like that thing where, you know, their arms kind of like fling back into the ground, and they just kind of come up and then like spit up some whatever.
You know, that makes sense. Like if they were turned into a bouncy ball, like on purpose, but no, they'd start just walking towards you, kind of. You know, like pathing towards you, whatever you want to call it. Holy shit, I finally got an uncommon drop, dude. This is terrible. These movie pack coins are so bad. It's not even a scaling issue. It's just like, this is painful. I'm getting the MMO experience. You know, I got a question. So, I'm just going to ask this without even thinking for Cat and Rook here, and maybe anyone in the chat. Why are gear coins and armor even soulbound for a second? Can we have that conversation? Just theoretically. Obviously, I was the one who made that decision, so I know why, but it's like, let's argue for them being unsoulbound. What do we think?
I can sell them. And someone with good luck can get lots of money off of me who has shit luck.
That's like exactly what I was thinking. Another economy thing to stimulate. Because, like, really, I feel like they'd be traded a lot. Because I would totally just give someone some Zenny to not have to do this movie pack gear coin grind. Giving someone the option to just, like, you know, okay, counterpoint. Just let them buy them overpriced Zenny trades at the armor market. That's actually probably a better idea. Yeah, never mind. They don't even need to be traded. And then we're also, like, burning Zenny. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's actually getting the Zenny. It's just going into the ether.
Get this money out of the economy. Yes.
Wait, hold up. We're cooking. Kat, if you're still in the stream, would you mind giving input on that? And then if you like the idea, maybe mock up some numbers. That'd be amazing. Because I would like to do this. And this is also one of those things that we could just toss into a patch if we're confident enough with the numbers. I am over my let's hold that for the update. It finally been
I could have bought TP boosters the whole time for money. Oops.
Vouchers, yeah. Wait, no, there is some Zenny trades, isn't there?
Yeah, TP boosters.
I'm not even using TP boosters. Like, there's not a reason. I'm just like, I don't know. Just not.
I need them.
No, I probably need them too. I'm just like not.
I need more power. Wait, instead of
Mm-hmm.
speaking of burning money and stuff, instead of actually changing Zeesel's drop rate,
Mm-hmm.
why not just like let people buy a boost that does it temporarily for Zenny?
Give me 2 seconds. Oh, a drop rate boost? That's actually a fire idea. And then also changing TP boosters to be the way we've talked about them working for a while. That should happen in PTSD. Can you blame me? I worked on it for 2 years. I've done it so many times, bro.
That should happen in MP3.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I mean, shit, patch. No, definitely not a change I want to just do in a patch. That is one that I think needs an update to flesh it out. You know what? That should be the distinction between something happening in an update or patch. The Zenny trade for gear coin, just throw it in a patch. As long as the numbers are fair and, you know, they can be tweaked later. Like, that's fine. But, like, TP boosters changing functionality is definitely not something you just want to throw at the wall. That'd be quite frustrating, especially as, like, a current player. You just log in and your TP booster changes, but nothing else changed. And, yeah, you could do all the other changes in a patch, but, like, gets to a point where it's, like, that's not even a patch. That's just, like, a mini update, you know? When you're changing, like, half a dozen systems. You're just like, we'll just... And then let's give us more time in an update. Pretty much what you said of workshopping it. It gives you more time to workshop it. How much Zenny do I even have? I don't think I have a lot. Oh, my God. Oh, I have 1.8 million because that's how much I had on my last character. I don't think I've even been using that. Or have. Wait, no. I might have just I don't remember. Do you remember if I cleared my money at the start? I might have.
I have no clue.
Because I played on US2, but I don't know if I cleared my money. Either way, I would not be shocked if I had 1.8 million because quests do start giving a lot of Zenny. You know, beside the fact that we're trying to, like, fix the economy, it's actually been kind of cool because, like, you know, Tony's stream, right? He actually, like, constantly is talking about how, like, him and his buddy are just, like, running out of Zenny for heals and stuff like that. Like, they're just broke. And I love hearing that because I'd rather people be in poverty than have money and be financially successful, you know? It's capitalism, baby. Next, I'm going to sell Precise Rook for 62 cents.
That's messed up.
62 cents? Mr. Krabs. You remember when that was airing when you were in high school, Rook?
No.
Good, because it probably wasn't, because that came out in the early 2000s.
What part of after any SpongeBob after the SpongeBob movie? I don't know.
I do not remember you saying that. That's the part.
I've said it a lot of times. It was banned in the household because of the Patrick with the flag in his butt scene.
What?
My mom was like, "Okay, this is too this is too overly brain dead. This show's stupid. You're gonna be an idiot."
You know what? That's a totally valid take. But, you know, I feel like it's like one of those things in moderation. If SpongeBob was the only thing you grew up on as a kid, yeah. But also, like, what you've told me about your parents did a good enough job that, like, I don't think SpongeBob would have been the make or break of if you guys were brain dead or not, right? Like, because your parents raised you well in general. SpongeBob didn't raise you. No? Disagree?
SpongeBob would have been a very big influence because everyone does it. Popularity adds weight.
That's true. So you would have been influenced by your peers and the media you enjoy. That's fair. Oh, cat's typing. Honestly, okay. Actually, I kind of agree with you, Cat. And that are you in the stream, Cat? Before I yap for no reason.
If you're here, say no.
That's some shit she would do too. She said she just wants to make the drops better, which in hindsight, that's usually do you see what she said? I agree with her. It's fundamentally TP and Zenny are already balanced. It's literally just an other drop rate. So honestly, calling it like mastery drop rate booster or some shit would be more accurate. And if we wanted to be funny, if we wanted to do it the lazy way that TP boosters work right now, it would actually, ironically, the way TP boosters work now would make more sense for mastery X boosters. You know what I mean? But alas, these things should be drop based, not, yeah. Wait, yeah, no, what she, wait.
All right, I need.
Also, you know what's so funny? The TP booster proposed change. You know how, like, I was scared to change stats? It's literally the same argument, bro. Because every time we've ever talked to someone about it, it's like, everyone's like, yeah, dude, that's an amazing change. Maybe not amazing. Nobody's hyping it up that much, but you know what I mean, right? Like, everyone likes it. Same idea for stats, and I would also argue the TP booster might have less people mad than some stat changes. Because, man, I've heard some people just be mad at the idea. Someone was mad about con splitting into health and stamina because they're like, oh, now I need to level this other thing just to have stamina. And it's like, dude, like, the entire game is changing. This is, honestly, the stat proposal was kind of, like, I knew some people were going to misinterpret it, and I'm not trying to insult these people at all. Like, I totally get the confusion, but, like, no, absolutely. Sorry. Let me finish my verbal thought here before I talk about other things.
Spend more to make more.
You know, literally.
Basic economics.
It's an investment, and you most of the time, if they don't go hard enough, or if they're just not progressed far enough, and even then, sorry, I'm gonna ADHD. I don't care. We're talking about adding a Zenny drop rate booster, and Rook said it would cost Zenny, thus, you know, being an economic thing. There's a point where, like, early game, you would not make your Zenny back. So arguably it'd be useless. But that's also where you make it cost vouchers, so there could be a 100% gain situation. Because vouchers just need more things, and I think that make people very happy. Explain it to Kat, because I think I get where you're coming from, but Kat probably doesn't.
No, so what that does,
it also is confusing though, because think about if you're late game. Let's say this thing costs 100k to like boost 50% drop rates, and you can end up getting it for 30 minutes, and you end up getting 150k back. It's like that becomes a problem if, because obviously late game this is going to be more useful, right? Fundamentally, because you'd end up getting your Zen. I actually kind of might agree with Kat, but go ahead and explain it, please. She's not in the stream as far as I know, so you, I don't know.
No. That's why I was joking about it.
Oh, you were taking the piss?
Yeah, because rich get richer.
Oh, say that. Okay, please say that, because I genuinely
I said the rich get richer part.
Oh, yeah, well, say it in the chat, so Kat, no, I get it now. Yeah. I literally had to, like, I had to talk through it to be like, yeah, we'd just be making the rich people richer, because they're the only ones who would benefit.
Man, I'm so hungry. So when are we upgrading to 1.20?
What? Where's our voucher booster to boost my kit gain? And you could only buy it on the store, by the way. Gotta buy a booster to boost your donor kit benefits. That would be fucking... That would be one of the, like... I would hope people would get mad.
Spend Zenny. Spend Zenny on a coupon to get shop stuff for less money. like real shop. Like the web store stuff.
That's insane.
Use game money to spend less real money.
I am gonna go take a piss. Kaioken and get my free passive
Don't
XP.
fall in.
I will.
That's unfortunate.
I'm gonna mute.
Nobody's gonna talk to me. But yeah, definitely mute. No, never pee for free. So how about the Mets? Or people have joined the Lil P stream. It'll be sold for $30 a pop. This is not a legally binding statement. Oh, actually, speaking of pee, there was a guy that bottled Amazon driver pee and then was selling it as an energy drink on Amazon to raise awareness for Amazon's crappy work practices. Oh yeah, I need to make a flight jet. That's messed up, dude. I can't believe the Zeros on hates me. I guess I'll quit. I wonder if there's a way to cast my POV whenever Lil disappears. That would be neat. Alright, this should be better. Alright, let's see how good full release human is. Okay, I am... Wow. That was nutty. Can't hold it for very long, though. Me and my trade-offs. Yeah, it's double the drain. Might need to farm just some key for a bit. I have it. I have the ability.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
I have the power.
Power to what?
I have full release human level 2 now.
Nice.
Because I went to Shenron.
Dude, that's real. I really do think Z Souls need to be boosted, but we can have that conversation off stream in more detail.
Well, I've had all these Dragon Balls, and I've been like sitting at 10 off, and I was like, you know what? I'll go do that. And
Yeah,
now I
10
can go
off
actually...
for sure. I don't know why you wouldn't at that point. I'm actually curious. Let me look at the performance of last podcast. I'm just curious. I want to see.
He's just looking, guys. He's just looking.
Okay, this one is not looking like it's going to stack up to the last one. It's actually looking more like the one before it, which is unfortunate. But it really feels like podcast is just a gamble in terms of performance. But we did do it 2 hours earlier, so I will keep that in mind. Let me also link it again.
Keep
now that it's been
tabs.
some time. Yeah,
career with great interest.
we could do it 2 p.m. whenever we do it next, and then we can kind of feel that one out. Because if it jumps back up, then we know immediately that this time was just straight up bad.
Ow.
Also, kind of another thing about like linking the podcast in chat is like, consider you're playing the game and then someone's like, hey, come and watch me play the game.
Oh. But I'm playing the game.
That's my... Yeah, you get my point here? It's like, so who's gonna like come join my thing to watch me play when they could just keep playing the game?
That's what I'm saying. Sure. We should do our podcast and play Hypixel.
I mean, you know what? That's actually a point for that, yes. But I don't know. I feel like it's a good time. Consider how many constructive changes we've already talked about today. We talked about changing gear coin drops, changing Z-Soul drops, and adding Zenny and item boosters, dude. I would argue it's worth playing this if that's what comes out of it.
Well, yeah, it's worth playing it, but maybe not for like the podcast. Maybe we need to actually just like wrangle Cat and Ree.
Sorry, hey, I like having fun on video games off screen, and then I like playing my own game on stream. Maximize my time.
Or your profit. Bezos Jr.
Yeah, the non-existent profit of the podcast or the YouTube channel in general. I'm not monetized, dude.
Yeah, whatever, sell out.
Oh, please don't say that, dude. It hurts. It's actually a good TP farm, so I'm not even mad. I'm going to keep farming Broly for gear coins. Welcome to all the new folks who joined. If you guys have any questions about combat update or anything of that sort, feel free to ask. It's, you know, above my head right here. Ask me about...
Yeah, ask him about his combat update.
Hey, this podcast is already outdone number 4, which is like the lowest one, so I'm already satisfied. I could safely hang up my hat and feel satisfied that this was not a waste of oxygen breathed.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
I would never say that our dear viewers are a waste of oxygen.
No, it's me wasting my oxygen talking to nobody in the chat. Dude, one of the, even if, there's been a ton of people talking this one, so it's already a win, but, there's been ones where, I had an entire 40 chat messages in 2.5 hours. I want you to think about that. 40. It's less than 1 a minute, bro. And half of that was probably a conversation or two within a few minutes, and then the rest was just me kind of like, it was just like I was recording a YouTube video is what it felt like. Except I wasn't. I was just talking into the ether, man. Hopefully people going back rewatching these enjoy that, so it'll at least be somewhat entertaining.
I haven't eaten.
Huh?
What?
I haven't eaten either because I ate a bunch yesterday. I was snacking, so I'm like, I won't eat breakfast, but it's a mistake because my stomach's growling, so I'm gonna eat after this.
Understandable.
Yeah, bro, they gave me another common coin. At this point, I'm gonna be able to get the common Broly set. I honestly might just, no, I don't think I'll grab the common Broly set. I think I'll save up for the uncommon Broly set. Because I definitely don't want any other MP3 sets uncommon. So I'll just buy a set I don't care about as common for collection's sake. I probably won't do that now, but eventually.
Broly's full release human also, is it.
You know what I need to do? I'm actually going to fight this guy in my racial state second form so that he so that he damages me so that I can like get my flickers. You know, in second form, in my racial state. No, I'm just going to charge down 5% so he can actually damage me. It's the bigger brain play.
I wonder if this damage, like, because this damage increase was substantial. Maybe I'll be able to fight Cell.
What if you could convert common to uncommon coins? I think I wrote that down somewhere. And, like, you know, the idea was, like, at a loss, like, maybe 3 common for an uncommon, right? Because, like, why not? That would definitely be nice, though. I think a lot of people would like that.
Okay, I think, so after testing it out, I think for release 2, I could probably KO Cell in a healing item.
Nice. Like, challenger farming?
No, story.
Why do you need to be able to do that?
What?
Why do you need to be able to only use one healing item? Are you farming him, or are you doing...
No, I mean, I think the difference was that big.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
I went from getting Milliwop to, oh, I think I can use one healing item to beat this guy.
Hell yeah, brother. That's a good idea, though, Ruka. I honestly think someone's probably suggested that before, and I definitely wrote it down and totally forgot about it. So, thank you for bringing it up again. Appreciate you. The gods are speaking. And by the gods, I mean the scalar person. Oh, someone was probably asking if they could stack it, stacking with a stacking with a stack. I think the biggest shame is not being able to use fusion with racial states. Legendary fusion would be fun. Maybe at some point you get a racial state that isn't a stack and is instead a form itself. That would be cool. So thus it could fuse. That would be fun.
Yeah. Cell's dead.
Nice.
No one can ever. Me. Except for everyone that can.
Cat had a Ruko, if you're still here, or Ruku. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but Cat had a I posted it in our little chat, and Cat responded. She said, "Problem with that? What's the point of common armor then? And then what about gear breakdown?" Which is kind of, I don't think many players even know gear breakdown exists, but I'll kind of explain the kind of my side of like, does common armor even matter? I still think it does at that point. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be one of those things where like, yeah, everyone's gonna go for uncommon, but if people are already not doing that, I think the argument is I'm just gonna waste my common coins on a set of armor just to have for collection's sake. I could still do that, for collection's sake, right? But like, I think having a use of the common coins fundamentally and not making them useless would be fun, right? I'm actually very curious what the conversation is, probably on US1. I know how everyone else feels. We really do need global chat, man. That would make conversations probably a lot more abundant. Especially when you got just like, you know, one other guy beside us on US2, 3 people on, you get it. Just like, it would make conversations, and that would be fun. I'm gonna get my flickers, dude. I should have been fighting Broly this way the whole time. I would have already had my racial state.
Just get it normally.
I'm not trying to farm it. I'm just like doing this, and I'm like, I might as well be getting a chance at flickers.
No farming. Only going. Only doing.
I also realized that every time I charge, I'm like totally undoing my release thing. I'm gonna go read this conversation. I'm very curious.
Everyone.
Someone asked for some juicy info from Kat, just like, you know, as a meme, and Kat was like, or I just responded like, there's not really any juicy info to give. We're like literally, you know, we're like telling you guys literally everything about this update.
Yeah. Pretty much.
There's like some small details that, but like they wouldn't be juicy by definition. So yeah, no. When I grinded out sets, I just went straight to uncommon, right? And like the only time I'm sure you just like buy your common on whatever. You're either not gonna use it or you're gonna just buy it to have that armor set, maybe for visual sake. Everyone says something different. Riku, Roku, everyone says random vowels. Is it Ruku? Because there's 2 U's, right? Because it's not, you're not a Roku TV, yeah?
Isn't it just Luxor?
Dude, I'm so disappointed in Kat. Why? How dare her answer this person over with text instead of linking the racial state guide video that I made? I'm fuming right now.
Stop talking to stop fraternizing with these people. Those videos they've been watching. I'll watch time. We need it.
I'm actually totally taking the piss because I will also frequently just answer a question because I feel like when someone asks a question and you respond with a video, oh hey, I flickered. I got one more flicker until I get it. But like, I feel like, I don't know about you, man, but if I ask someone a question, they just respond with a video link. A lot of times that, like, I feel like you'd rather just get a little quick 30-second answer, right? Really depends on how I'm feeling, but, you know, I'd probably prefer the person to help me out rather than get a video. The video is good for anyone who, like, comes across it, though. Like, those videos are great, man. They're evergreen videos that will just forever get views because, yeah, people are always going to be wondering, it's going to be a brand new player. They're going to look it up on YouTube because that's what you do. And the only tutorial for it is by us. And I don't even think anyone would make a tutorial at that point if the devs already made a tutorial. Is there even a point? I mean, it would be sick if people made, like, how-to Apollo content, but, like, you know.
How to Apollo if you don't want to read. I would watch this video like that.
We honestly should add times to AGOD. We should add all the other stages before 10. There's kind of just no point in not. I think we've talked about it before. There's like no point in not, right? Because it'd just be fun. You'd have a weaker...
I want times 10 to burn me faster and give me more power. Why, hello, Danger Duo.
Let's see, yeah, Kaioken times 20 being unlocked the way it is a little...
For me, the only thing that sucks is that you have to like max the Kaioken, and then you get blue Kaioken, and you're like, well, I can't make this any better, and now I'm sad.
Well, that's because times 20 is going to be an actual thing, you know?
No, I mean, like, I can't grow it at all.
Oh, you just have it like it's a thing?
Yeah.
I think we sort of dropped the ball on, like, times 20, or sorry, just Kaioken not really having anything. I mean, technically you can, because, you know, like, your Kaioken leveling will affect it, but, like, not really, because I think you need, like, level 3 or 4, 10, so, like, you kind of just get it, and it's stagnant. I don't know. Something to think about, but ultimately, it's such an incredibly small thing, and we're not going to touch that until Future Saga, because, you know...
Yeah.
Someone said, honestly, racial states make Kaioken useless. Hard to disagree. You can make this argument for everything, dude. People ignored Kaioken for alt forms. This has always been a thing. Because people see the health drain, they're just like, I don't want to bother with that. But guess what? Kaioken roleplayer 78 will fucking love Kaioken and only use it. And we made sure it's balanced and usable enough as a alternative, right? That's the point.
I like it when I play normally.
Literally nothing can be meta, bro. Because when Kaioken's meta, racial states aren't meta. And when racial states are meta, Kaioken's not meta. It's an impossible balancing act. One is going to be better, period. Especially when you start arguing subjectivity. Where you're like, I don't like the health drain of Kaioken, so I'm never going to use it. Then it's never going to be objectively better, or subjectively better, rather, for you. It's a very hard balancing act.
I must movie back one. Well, I dropped the ball on that one. Yeah.
But he's just making shit up. He said, isn't the Dragon Ball just always near the quest itself? No.
definitely not. Man, if I had global chat, I could see what was happening, and so could the stream.
You literally have global chat, buddy.
No, I have to go over to Discord.
Oh.
Checkmate. Wait, turn them on dynamic balls. Don't do that. Hold on.
Oh! Racial state! Woo! Racial state! I got cutscened out of nowhere and I was like, what? Dude, heck yeah. I'm a weird fleshy color. Ah! Ah, he's whipping my ass! Oh my gosh, my health is broken. Okay, that was really odd. Because I was like almost dead.
Respawn time upgrade number 3 is only available through Black Star Balls, right?
Yeah.
Black Star goes into 5 Namek. So if you turn 3 into 5. Wait.
You can't
That
trade
statement's
for,
just...
for Black Star, silly.
I think that's true. No, Black Star and dynamic balls.
Yeah, the trade.
I think he's just bad. I think he's just wrong.
There's a lot of trades like that. They're not supposed to be correct. They're supposed to be lossy trades. I don't really think Black Star should be one of them, though, to be honest. Would it be possible to buff Black Star trades? Because at the moment they are all kind of useless since it's more efficient to just turn them into dynamic balls. Is that what you were talking about? Someone just commented that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And I think no. Because if you do 3 Black Stars into 15 Namek balls, you get 20 with 1 leftover Namek ball, which like
Yeah, you definitely should not be using your Black Star balls for fucking Z Souls. I'm going to be honest. Even if the trades suck, you're just wasting your Black Star balls. You can literally just go get normal Dragon Balls for those trades. Frankly, there shouldn't even be a down trade because I think it'd be better to imply that, like, hey, the only trades are exclusive trades. Thus, don't go waste these for, like, short-term benefit. You know, don't go buy Z Souls because these are one-time, like, you don't get these again.
I think we should just remove the Namek one.
That's what I said. Those are the English words that I said.
I am, in fact, confirming that.
Speaker.
That's why I said yeah.
Handshake.
Monkey.
Handshake.
No, I'm not handshaking a monkey.
That's really rude. I'm very offended by this. I'm gonna talk to my therapist about this if I had one.
Isn't that me?
Wait, that makes it so much funnier.
Alright, I'm at a funny spot where I'm a lot better than I was at the start, but I'm so weak.
Wait, this guy's already been fucking promoted. Is he smoking crack? What? Hold up. Let me turn off my screen. So, oh, do this on screen. There's the Minecraft.
You should get another webcam that just goes on your cats.
Well, my cats never like particularly sit in a spot, so that would be challenging.
I'd offer Nergy Cam, but he's grumpy and hiding in his cave.
That's what I'm saying. Never that easy, bro. Yeah, on time definitely needs to be recoded. There's just more and more issues. It's just getting more and more unstable to a point that, like, I don't know, it's arguably not even worth maintaining or trying to, like, just, you know, work around. Because people are, like, not even getting promoted, and people are, you know, it's just generally a troublesome system.
Wow, Buu Saga, that's where I would go if I had any.
Oh, I need a little bit more stamina that I can one bar this guy. Oh, hey, I can level my stamina. What do you know?
Yeah, the crate animation makes my brain go yes. And then I get 1k Zenny, and I'm angry now.
Right.
Yes is gone.
Oh. Well, imagine if the crate had no animation and you just got the depression. Would that be better or worse? Is the roller coaster good? Or is it better to just get insulted?
Honestly, we should make it if you get Zenny, it just skips the animation and just plops it. It just spits it out at you.
So every time you get an animation, it's special, basically.
Like, you can just flag, I don't like this, and then it just, like, skips the animation and just spits it out at you.
That would be kind of funny.
We should definitely do that instead of the next combat release.
Dude, real. I'm gonna try to dedicate some time here pretty soon to working on playtime recode, because that, you know, it's like the biggest thing holding up the patch. Aside of like the scroll menu, which probably doesn't even have that much work in general left on it. This is like literally just bug fixing and making sure it's all working. I think I was having some issues with the warps, but I don't quite recall. Worst case, I just hold off the warp page and, you know, just leave. Because I already made warps like an actual command. Actually, I think the part of the warp that wasn't working was the remaking the warp system part. Where, like, I think the warps are a little buggy or something like that. So, you know, the part of it that actually, like, isn't even about the scroll menu. It's actually just the system.
It's always about the system.
Hey, but you'll be able to, like, type the warp still, like, and there'll be tab completion, and there'll be a menu if you just prefer to click them, and you can favorite them. I think this is, like, I kind of, you know, I need to gaslight myself. I just need to, like, get myself excited for a mechanic. You know, like, that's the thing. I'm not, like, excited to work on the playtime recode, because I know it's going to be annoying database nonsense, you know? It's not fun work. I just need to get myself, like, oh, this is going to be so good. It's going to be less laggy. It's, you know, just hype myself up about it. You get me?
Yeah.
I think I need to dopamine max myself, dude. I need to, you know, manipulate myself.
I agree. That's always the best thing that you should do.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm telling my therapist on you, though, for real. You think I should remove some of these announcements, like linking the Movie Pack 3 trailer 6 months later? Is there even a point? Like, if someone's gonna watch it, they'll be more likely to find it on YouTube or just go look it on the channel, you know? You really think someone's clicking the Movie Pack 3 trailer when it's already out? And the reason I'm asking is because if we can remove some of these, like, useless links, it will leave more of the, you know, the ones that we want pushed, not the trailer getting a handful of views a week. You know, I can actually go answer this question by just looking at how many people are still giving the trailer external views. Because if there's still, like, you know, I don't think there's a lot at all. I don't ever see the trailer getting views. It's pretty stagnant since release, so I think the answer is probably, if it's getting a decent amount of views, I'll leave it, but like if nobody's clicking that link, I might as well remove it and clear up the chat a little.
Yeah, you can do it. You can beat Gohan. No, you can't.
I'm whooping his ass. What are you talking about, man?
How many health bars did he start with?
Look at his percent health. It's at 22. You would fucking count health bars, you nerd. I don't count health bars because they're completely redundant. They don't mean anything. They're obviously a portion of their health, yes, but like it's not consistent. If every enemy had 7 health bars consistently, it would, but they don't. The more health they have, the more health bars they have. It's kind of like actually backwards in a way.
Forgot that was a design decision.
That was ages ago. I don't even know if you were there for that.
I was.
Okay. Then I do know if you were there for that.
Yeah, because I just said it, dummy.
No, I've been informed by my people. He's sitting here like this motherfucker.
This guy. Unbelievable.
Oh, I didn't check for a Dragon Ball at the last quest. I feel like just the way Namek Balls work is so... They just kind of ruin achievements, you know? Do I think I get too many... you asked what I mean?
Yeah.
You get 1 Namek Ball and 7 Dragon Balls. It just makes the balance unfair. Does that make sense? Basically, like...
You should make them 5.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, right? It's like, I like that change, but I know nobody else would like that change. Unless we're going to talk about, like, nerfing the reward. That gets to a point, though, where, like, does anyone actually give a shit about the core change of making drag? I don't think anyone would care. So they'd just be mad about the trades getting nerfed, basically. Is what I'm getting at. Like, nobody is like, yeah, man, achievements are too good. This is kind of just like a should have thought about this when we designed the system moment.
Yeah.
We've dug our grave and we must not even sit in it because it's not actually a big deal. Like, I actually don't care. I'm not gonna, you know, not gonna care. I'm gonna be like, oh no, that's a thing. I need to stop using Vita drinks. They're now only healing 33%. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Get me away from this enemy. I just...
Well, that depends.
What?
I think if Healite healed 75k, I think that's when it's more worth it.
Well, I'm gonna look at the price. Yeah, I know what you mean though. I don't know how long I'm gonna do the podcast today. I'm kind of fine with keeping going. I don't know about you. No, I don't really mind. Usually I'm like, yeah, man, I want to end the podcast, but nah, today I'm kind of just fine.
Have fun. I'm gonna go play Hypixel.
No. Don't do it. Please think about the things.
I'm gonna go work for a candy factory.
Hey, were you... Oh, you weren't there the other day. Talk about it after the stream.
Huh?
Alright, well, it was stuff me, Cat, and Rye were talking about. I don't want to say it here because it's not something for combat. future idea.
More
Not for
work
the future.
for me.
No, actually not
Also,
really.
Do we have any, like, speaking of more work for me, do we have any knowledge of Munch's existence, or?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, there wasn't even much for him this update anyway, if we're gonna be honest. The work for him was the particles, and you've been doing a fine job of that anyway, so it kind of doesn't really matter in that for particles. Like, honestly, there hasn't even been that many particles. You make like one particle and I'm good for like a week, and I'm like, hey, can you make another? And then we're good. We've already made a shit ton of particles just work. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I'm like, we've made a lot of visuals already for this update just going on that. There hasn't, because, you know, dude, compared to last update, we are living La Vida Loca right now. Because Munchkin had to like remake, he had to make a bunch of auras, a bunch of status effects. You had to make a new form for every race, multiple technically. And then you also had to make character creation at the same time. That's why we're living La Vida Loca now, you know, because the workload is like fractioned. So I honestly think we might be okay. It's just when you start talking about working ahead or remaking NPC models, that's where we start getting about it, right?
Also, I'm like, in the far off future of whatever TOP happens, I still think that TOP UI should be a form, and then we'll make it a technique later.
I disagree, but obviously we can talk about that closer. I don't like the idea of that, but I could probably be convinced. I don't like the initial idea because it's just confusing, but at that point, I think what you're talking about, like, just make it for the quest you get put into that, and that can work like that, and then you have the technique that you actually use, and it's weaker, because that's pretty much what happened with Goku. After he used UI, it was weaker, because guess what? He doesn't know how to fucking use it.
He was pumping it forcefully using Ki, and then...
Oh, yeah, like, he was like, he was forcing it to be a form. So we could treat it like a form in the quest. But then, if you're giving it in a quest, form drain's weird. But it doesn't need to drain a lot of Ki. It just needs to, like, drain Ki.
We can make it not stack.
Definitely.
And just drain a lot of Ki.
I do not like the idea of stacking, period. Especially not for TOP context of UI, because that was not how it was used.
No, it's like a Moro arc type thing.
Yeah, I don't like that, because that's just the writers being lazy and not wanting to do anything, so they just start stacking shit.
Well, he's supposed to be able to do it all the time. It's not, you know.
Just because the...
I think it's weird. I think it's weird that Goku is the one that gets the, yeah, you gotta be one with the universe, and Vegeta's the, get angry, get hit.
Yeah, that's like the opposite of Vegeta's character. That's the moment where I'm like, I feel like they went backwards on Vegeta's character a little. Because he was like being written to be this like really... He was starting to be emotionally intelligent. You know, they were diverting the writing power to Goku off of Vegeta. Or no, sorry, to Vegeta off of Goku, and Goku started getting stupider. And then somewhere, they both just started losing character.
Well, I guess if it's just stupid and pure instinct, I guess UI makes sense, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of always how Goku's been, right? Because he's always been an idiot, but then when it comes to fighting, he's like, locked the fuck in.
But then that just raises the question, why is he not getting it?
Why is he not just generally... Oh, UI? I don't know.
Why is he thinking too much?
It's really annoying because, like, I feel like if you give UI to someone beside Goku, it would be a big problem because they wouldn't understand it. But Goku's a martial artist, buddy. Buddy has been, like, literally since he was a child, this guy's basically been a martial artist. It's kind of actually frustrating how he's written. Because it's like his entire life he's been fighting. He should not be confused about this UI thing. I don't know, though. Obviously, I understand a new thing being confusing fundamentally, but, like, I don't know, man. This is the same guy, like, every time he gets a form, he's just, like, locked in and understands it. This guy would do great with body change, bro. Switch places with Whis and just be chilling. That's another topic. Do you think that's even possible? Like, fundamentally, let's ignore Whis just obviously dodging that shit. But, like, if Whis, you know, somehow body change beam hits him, is he immune to that? feel like they'd write it that way, but like, do you think it logically makes sense based on what we know? I'm gonna just say no.
Also, the question is, would Whis and Ginyu's body be able to use Angel Ultra Instinct, or would he just like?
I mean, that's asking the question of, is this ability like omnipotent, or is it specifically like, is it in his being, his soul, whatever you want to call that?
Actually, yeah, I think he would, because it's a. I think like the only thing would be like, you know, figuring out the reach of a new weird body. So
I disagree. I think it would be, unless there's things I haven't heard in the, you know, manga and whatnot. But like I kind of,
it's like,
is it
it's
not
like
just...
more of a, because it's not like a form or something intrinsic. It's something you just, it's straight up just a technique that you learn how to do.
Okay, but does that mean Ginyu could use Kaioken in Goku's body? Because he didn't know what the fuck Kaioken was, so technically the answer is no.
I was talking about Whis in Ginyu's body.
Well, I know, but like, okay, actually, sorry, let me ask that the right way. Could Goku suddenly use Kaioken? Because you're kind of implying that like, just because Goku knew Kaioken, he could do it in Ginyu's body. And I mean, I could see it okay, actually, wait. This argument can go even funnier. Could Goku just fire Kamehameha as Ginyu? The answer should be yes. I would actually agree.
He should be, but like, you'd still need to like do a little bit of learning how to use the body at the start. Because like,
yeah, I think that's the answer to like the UI stuff as well. He would just like have to figure it out in the body. That's it. Which that one would probably be easier because you're just like more figuring out how big your body is. And Whis was already a tall ass dude. And Ginyu was a tall, big dude, so it's kind of like I'm wider now. This is such a hilarious conversation. You think anyone's ever had this conversation?
Maybe.
Actually, yes. There's a lot of like Ginyu obsessed people. It's odd.
Man, Change Beam would have been cool if like someone actually learned it aside from him.
The Ginyu Force in general was some of the coolest character design. Namek was like peak Dragon Ball. Things started getting a little more samey after that, you know? Like Cell didn't really... He was sick, great, but like didn't really push boundaries. He was just kind of like doing things you'd kind of expect, you know?
Also, there aren't really any stakes. It's just like, if we lose, everything gets blown up. Okay, but that happens every time.
The whole planet explodes. It's like, oh, guess what happens when you lose to Buu? The whole planet explodes. Guess what happens when you lose to in the TOP? The whole universe explodes. It's like, okay, obviously I get it, but like, Namek felt like we weren't at a point where people were blowing up planets for shits and giggles or like threatening that. It was like Frieza was gonna go like be a tyrant. Like, we need to stop this guy fundamentally, as well as like we need to stop this guy morally speaking, but also
he's killing my friends. Yeah, and they're actually like dying.
Yeah, and like it's got to a point where like, especially with Whis, bro. Whis is like Shenron on crack. Oh, you could wish people back? No, this guy could just rewind time if he thinks it was too bad.
Me when I play League of Legends. Speaking of rewinding time, you should watch Arcane.
Maybe.
Season 2 has a really cool time thing, because the time guy gets his time powers. It's actually such a badass scene.
Epic.
Every weird part of the show that I realized after the fact doesn't matter when compared to that scene.
This is an absolute win then. Probably end the podcast just at 3. I don't think I want to be pushing the podcast like super long. Like,
that's good, because I still need to eat and I can't feel my fingers anymore.
Oh my god. Gee, god, I feel like I'm being guilt tripped maybe a little bit here. It's okay, you know, Lil, if we could like end the podcast sometime soon, that'd be cool, because like I can't feel my fingers. Well, when you put it that way, fuck you, let's keep streaming. I was literally just thinking in my head, man, I wish I had final form. Then I look over, you've unlocked a form, do warp forms to awaken it. Which has probably been there for like 10 minutes, mind you. I have final form now. Okay, how strong is this? Let me go racial state tier 3, level 3 as well. So, you know, leveled up a little, which it should have already leveled to level 2 now. Yes, it has. Cool. So 3.1 with 1600 drain versus probably way more drain, unfortunately. 1900 drain's actually not bad. Wait, 3.5? This is already worth using. And I look sick as fuck, dude. Holy shit, look at the black and yellow shit going on. I love playing an Arcosian because you spend a lot of the time in the game looking ugly as shit, in my opinion. But then you eventually get to your final form, you're like, I look beautiful. Which is like literally what Frieza was. He was an ugly looking lizard dude until he finally got to that last form. Oh, that's embarrassing. Let me turn off F admin so I can't read people's F chats on stream. Luckily, he didn't say anything sensitive. You know what's so funny? I was about to go use my Dragon Balls for tier 2 souls. Glad I didn't.
Hey, what's your BP in
Final form.
tier 2?
Like not the racial state. I'm level 3,
Yeah,
so it is 540. Okay.
I'm 280.
Dude, you need to catch up, buddy. It's probably Dex. I mean, you got to consider hover over battle power in your menu, and you'll see the breakdown. 240,000 of my BP in final form right now is coming from Dex. Like, that's my biggest share. But that's also 33% of my stats in general. So my build is actually quite balanced. Like, in terms of, you know, Dex. Like, I'm not Dex stacking. 33% is not stacking. So, big win. Holy shit, tier 3 souls are expensive.
Strength has a weight of 13. Con has a weight of 8. So does Spirit.
Do you think it'd make more sense if everything just had the same weight?
No. Because Dex
also
really does have, like, a bigger impact than Con on
your gameplay. Yeah, we tried to make BP, like, BP is kind of ironically, what I just said, making them samey, would just be your level.
I think willpower could probably get a much higher weight.
Well, you're not playing a key build. It's based on class. The weight's not universal. I probably should have said that.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And especially when we add more classes, it will become even more logical. How the hell do I keep getting this damn Flappy Fights? Oh, you know what? He probably dropped them in the Namek Saga quest area. It's not just pick it up. That guy. I will remember this Flappy Fight. I won't do anything, but, you know, I'm just gonna, like, remember it. Noted.
I need upgrade number 2. No!
Okay, now I can fight Broly in final form, which is going to be annoying because I have an extra point. Even after upgrading my Spirit, I have an extra 0.2% key drain, which hurts. I'm going to keep leveling Spirit because it's, like, fast. You know, I think we should squeeze the Kaioken unlocks a little bit. Unlocking my last, like, my times 10 Kaioken at 418, you know, like, 7 quests after I just got my 3rd form is kind of insane. Do you agree?
A little bit. Where does it use times 10?
The thing is, like, you're only going to stack it on forms. So, technically, everyone's tier 3 stacks Kaioken, unless I'm mistaken. Technically, at that point, you're actually just, like, getting it for tier 3. It's actually, like, so little about, like, Kaioken itself. You're, like, actually just getting the stack. Which, like, I don't know if that's better or worse for it to be unlocked later. I feel like I'd almost rather have already got it and then be able to stack it. But then I feel like you need something to limit what they can stack because everyone's just going to go to their highest stack, right? I don't know. Maybe there's a stacking mastery. Oh, God. I hate to even talk about that, dude. Talk about a whole nother mechanic on progression like that.
I would like that because then I can get mastery for blue Kaioken.
Yeah, it does circle back to that. Hold up, he's cooking. Oh, I also got my 95% release. This is epic. Okay, I'm powering my release. Dude, I gotta go down to 70... So I'm at 95 release. That's my normal release. I have to go down to how much to get hurt by Broly? 65? Yes, 65% release to get hurt by Broly now. Jeez, dude. I only had to go down 5 when I was at 90 fighting him. Well, I am in final form, though, so it's a lot stronger. I need to get my spirit up, because this is, like, actually painful. Like, almost undoable.
Oh no, he transformed. Oh, I'm dead.
Putting points into spirit when you're like struggling with key drain has got to be like one of the best feelings, because it's like immediate benefit. You just immediately see
not
you're
struggling as much
with spirit.
Yeah. Then again, I did get to 2,000 before.
Oh my god! Charging up my key also brings me back to not taking damage from him.
Wait, does charging give you damage reduction?
No, charging charges your release.
Oh.
The way it works is it will only charge your release when you're at that percent. So if you're 95 to 100, you got to be like full charging key. So technically, if I only charge like the bottom half of my key, which is stupid, I would be able to do it. But eh.
Just get double the spirit.
I'm actually just letting him damage me right now. I think I'm just gonna farm Broly later and like actually just beat his ass and like strong as possible to get the coins ASAP. What I'm gonna do now, I'm actually just gonna go mess around in Cell Junior and see how that feels. I'm not actually gonna farm it that way, but I'm kind of just curious to see.
It's not that great.
Yeah, like remember I was like kind of against it fundamentally, but I'm like, it's probably not actually that good because. I mean, I feel like I already know I'm just going to enjoy playing the game more. I'm not going to enjoy sitting here AFK, letting Cell Juniors beat my ass. That's just not the kind of person I am. I will want to play the game. How much do I even need to charge down for them to hurt me? Holy. It's such a flex to be like, yeah, man, Cell Juniors don't even hurt me until I'm at 25% release. I charge down even more so that they just get me lower quicker. There we go. Once you get level 10 power release, like full 100%, you can have them sorry, brain. You could force them to not. Oh, this is not worth it, cuz again, when I charge my key, no. This would only work if I had God key, dude. Cuz when I charge my key, I immediately charge up and I got to go all the way back. This is not fun. I'm gonna go back to Broly. At least that one's a little bearable.
Huh, that's weird. I can't do my forms anymore.
That bug occasionally happens. Let me actually see that for myself. What does it do? Did you just charge up in it? Oh, I see it. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, well I just did it, but that bug in general, I was in final form charging into third form racial state, and it was giving me the sparkles. Final form charging into third racial state gave sparkles from final.
Well, let me try relogging.
No, it's not gonna go away. It's literally a server. I have no fucking clue what causes it, but it's a server side issue. I have not one clue how that happens, but my only guess here is that like it will be retroactively fixed by the code just generally improving next update, because I'm obviously messing with a bunch of related code.
No, relogging fixed it.
Oh, okay. You might have also just got a different one.
It just said all my forms are not unlocked.
Oh yeah, no, that is a just mastery packet issue. What probably happened is you got somebody else's mastery packet. Oh well. What could have been mine? Did it say you had other forms unlocked?
No.
No?
Wait.
Like, there was not other race forms at the bottom? You might have not even noticed, to be honest. Because what I'm theorizing here is that you got my form XP, you know? Arco.
But it's sequel transactions, isn't it? Your database should be locking each one.
It's not MySQL packet. Why the fuck would I use MySQL for packets? Your character data is loaded on your player when you're in game. It loads from MySQL, and then it's on like, you know, Minecraft data stuff, and then it sends back on saves and auto saves and all that. There's no like, it's not constantly pulling data for the packets. That would be, I feel like, very costly. Would it be better or not? I don't know for a fact, but probably not.
Maybe just like a refresh button that does a cooldown, so I can pull my stuff back, or just relogging, I guess. But...
Or counterpoint, fix the issue, because the packet issue is way bigger than giving a manual fix. I would argue a manual fix is like, you know, the easy, cheap way that would technically help you, but like I would rather just fix the issue.
No.
Oh, my bad, yo. I feel like with global chess, if I want to bring back tab 2, which I definitely do, because we want to start giving people more tabs. That's like that's a great donor perk. I feel like we should. I don't know. Sorry, I think I should just recode global chess at this point to try and start fresh.
Still, juniors have better drop rates and lower battle power.
I have no idea. They were probably scaled wrong, because if they were from the Cell Junior Challenger and Kat didn't realize that, because she might have gotten an autopilot at some point. You know, it started just like, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Cell is 12,000 with 15-10-5, and then Cell Junior is 11,000 with 20-15-10.
Yeah, just tell Kat. It's probably just no mistake. Someone in chat.
Maybe it is like that because you have to beat the mission, and the mission's a like pain.
No, that's literally what it is. Kat scales challengers off the actual quest, and since those are weaker enemies, she probably just kind of didn't correlate that. There's been, I think she's done that.
I think it's a good challenger that's gatekept by an annoying quest.
Sure. I mean, I would still point it out to her and see if that's how she feels.
Yeah, I'll see. Which, if we do the buff anyway, where are the flesh of the damned?
Someone was, you know how God XP works, right?
Yep.
The fact that every challenger gives 1 to 7 XP fundamentally means the first challenger is technically the best because he's just the weakest. You can kill him the fastest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's an issue? Because then it kind of makes every challenger, God challenger above that, kind of quote-unquote useless, right?
No, you just kill them faster and then it's okay. You just promote the fastest one you can.
No shit. That's the point I'm making, right? It makes the stronger ones kind of useless because you wouldn't want to farm them for that reason.
Only at the start.
I disagree. A lot of people end up just straight up farming that the entire time and never switching. Because it's such a difference that like the enemy's going to be like 50% stronger for like what, 5-10% more XP. Basically it just doesn't scale, and it gets to a point where it's kind of hard to scale it, which I guess at that point that just means the entry level challenger should just be like cap his XP. Don't let him go 1 to 7, let him go 1 to 3, you know? But I don't know, I think that gets into a point where people would just be mad because they probably, God is already considered difficult by many, so I think that would just be a bad change.
Rest in peace. Oh, I'm the only one that's having internet issues. Okay.
Yeah, probably. I believe this is probably a good time to end the podcast.
Yay.
No,
food.
this is just the server lagging, by the way. This is on time stuff.
Well, that's painful. On time painful.
It's that bad.
Dang, someone should do something about that.
You're right. It'd be a real good change if someone changed that, you know?
Okay, Cell Juniors are really nice. This is another spot where I can play the game. It goes back to I need to like actually read the damn challengers and find things that I can actually handle.
I really don't think you even need to do that. The challengers are so damn linear that like there's so few exceptions. Like Cell Juniors is going to be one of your only exceptions there. And you know when it's a boss challenger, those are good. But that's
Cell Junior, and then there was Android 16 is who I was doing. Max level 16 was. But I could have done Cell because he's just less TP, better. Yeah, it's whatever. Also, I've been reading the Challenger stuff, and I got blasted so much I have to go back to spawn. I'm in pain. Remember, kids, if you get interested in a girl, definitely write a poem. It'll work every time.
All right, fellas, I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast for everyone who came out. Thank you. For anyone watching on the VOD, thanks for watching to the end of this 3-hour-long podcast. I hope you enjoyed all the yapping and whatnot. Have a good day.
Yep, see ya.